state where now I really want to build like on multiple facets, not just like collabs. I want to really like get you meeting my people, your people meeting your people. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like, how the fuck else are we gonna make this place pop? You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
So, yeah.
It's like you've been around, you've gotten around, so now you have a lot more tools in the toolbox. And not only that, like you know the people who you fucked with before, so now you can go and enrich their lives.
Yeah, or at least try. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Help them out where I can, you know.
Even like something like this, like you pulling up on me and us having a conversation, it enriches my life, because for the longest time, I think a lot of people wanted to see us in the same light, you know, maybe on a song together or in a music video or something. So this is like bringing two worlds together that usually would go in different paths, but for some reason we force the tracks to kind of collide. And I think that something beautiful happens when you do that, because if you're a spiritual person, like I know you are, absolutely, we are caught in between the reality world and the spirit world. Yeah. Where when we create art, sometimes we're able to conjure up information from ancestors. Yeah. Rhythmic information, you know, melodic. And that's how I think that sometimes we're influenced to create cutting, innovating stuff, because the spirits know it before we know it sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And I noticed that you've always been somebody who's been in touch with yourself in that sense. Has your music journey kind of like taken you on a spiritual journey as well? Yeah, honestly, because it's crazy. It started back 2012 or 2010 maybe. I don't remember, but there was that hip hop documentary with like KRS-One and shit on Netflix. I don't know if you remember, but yeah, I watched that. Yep. And KRS-One, he said, once I got into my spirituality, everything started falling in place. And it made me realize I don't even know what spirituality is. Like back in 2010, I was like, wait, does that just mean like meditating? Is that like, I literally didn't fucking know, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like a broad sense? Yeah. Yeah, and I literally just looked up the word spirituality and started clicking from there. And then by 2012, you know, I was just, I realized that my life was made up of karma, from my DNA, from my flaws all over, from my environment, from my strengths, everything. It's all my karma, you know, so I felt like really connected to that, and it's partially why people started calling me Karma just in my small circle, you know what I'm saying? Because I was like always talking about karma and shit back then, you know what I'm saying? You wore it on you. Yeah, I really did, you know? And that's where I really started to take the deep dive into it. And when that happened, that's when I started getting into manifestation, and I started to really focus on the goal and the big picture, and just staying focused. And guess what? You know what happens though along the road? What's that? Sometimes, at least for me, is with the manifestation, you can do the opposite too. You can manifest yourself some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I did that for a couple of years of just not knowing where I wanted to go, being stagnant, feeling like creatively I had to sound this way and be this way, but creatively now I don't even feel that way no more. And it's just all these things that made me not make music, and kind of just take the little money I had from music and live off it for a while, like, and just kind of hide from it a bit. Take a break? I was kind of hiding for a little bit. It was wild, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it was becoming too much, too fast. Yeah, it was just like I didn't know what to do. I was looking at things wrong and doing too much of like other people's ideas. You know, I need to like listen with the open mind, maybe try it out, but at the end of the day, I need to listen to like what the fuck I want to truly do, you know what I'm saying? So once I started doing that, I linked with Binks. We started fucking with like autotune and shit, you know what I'm saying? Instead of being scared of it, you know, and like started like creating new sounds and having fun again, you know? Was this before the single that I heard? Yeah, this was before. This happened right before. You caught me right like as I was back at it again, you know, for a few months now, and that was this third song I think we made. Right. So you caught me like right there at a like pretty special moment, like. And like we were talking before the pod, that was a real special moment, because you're not a new artist to me in any slight of the sense. You know, I've watched you grow for a long time. So when you've seen an artist grow for a long time and you know what they're capable of, in order for them to surprise you, it's got to be something. It's always got to be something.
It's hard.
If you, on the third album, if you get your favorite song from your favorite artist on the third album or the fourth album, it's like, God damn, they really dug in.
Yeah.
They really did. So I think that that's what you did, because you had been gone the right amount of time, where when you come back, it seems like a rebrand, even if nothing's changed.
Yeah, it really will.
You know, so you coming back when you did, with the song you did, I was like, wow, I'm really proud, because if this is what Tri-Cities 509 Northwest is heading towards and where it should be at, I think we've caught up. You know, I think that the people are going to check it out, for real.
I appreciate that a lot, man, for real. Especially since, you know, it's crazy, because even I started to kind of go more into your lane of things of like, I want to turn the fuck up on the, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, fuck this, bro. Like, I started rapping because Biggie would always make me want to dance, and he would talk about, I'll get the old jungle dancing. I'm like, bitch, I want to get the jungle dancing. So,
I think that maybe like finding a middle ground is definitely the winning formula. Because like me, for example, I know that for a long time I've watched what you guys have done, and I've tried to implement things that you guys have done, because I found that to be superior to maybe something that I've chosen to do in the past.
Word.
Like for example, crowd control. You know, that was always big with you guys. You guys knew right away that you had to incorporate your songs with certain parts that the crowd was going to react to.
Yeah.
Like I remember seeing some of the shows that you would do at Ray's. Ray's is just always going to be that iconic place where we both, you know, really made our name as far as performing live. And I remember it used to be hard to get into Ray's as far as rap stuff went.
I know.
You had to know somebody to know somebody. Yeah. But I kind of snuck in through the metal stuff, because I had buddies who were into metal and hardcore and things of that nature. So I learned how that world worked on a behind the scenes kind of like underground level. And then I also made my you know, I met with Stan and Ray, and like I started to develop my own relationship so I could do shows over there. So what I want to ask you is, when you perform, like you got a big show coming up. I want to talk about that next. But when you perform post pandemic, pre-pandemic, like you've hit the stage since. Have you hit the stage since?
Yeah, I've actually only hit the stage one time. Yeah, so far.
And did you notice? And this is just me speaking from when I went to go perform at the Thai Fest in August. I felt this inner monologue when I was on stage, like, you gotta really hit the gas on this. You gotta really show out, because you gotta prove to yourself as well that this did not slow you down, that this did not derail your train. And I did one of the most live performances that I can think of in the last 5 years. And it's because I really wanted to show that mentally my sword was sharp. Word. You know, I had been training, metaphorically speaking, under waterfall, so to speak. Yeah. And I was waiting for the right time for me to show the world, like, this is what we really fucking do. And I don't think that goes away, especially if you're really deeply entrenched in this shit, like it's war. Yeah. Like how we are. So, performing live. Yeah. Did you get that inner monologue, like, I gotta fucking turn up the heat on these motherfuckers, you know? Like,
absolutely, bro. Like, not only with that, but like, that's the reason I haven't dropped a video in a while, is because it's gonna be the best fucking video I've ever dropped, or I'm not dropping it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the same with the shows, bro. Like, it doesn't matter how much COVID might affect, like, how many people are in there or whatever. Like, I don't care. I'm gonna fucking go as hard as I fucking can. And like you said, mainly, more than anything, to prove myself, bro. Because this you be looking in the mirror during these times, you know, and like, especially as small artists, you know, it really affects us like
big time.
Crazy, man.
Crazy.
No shows.
Because we're the hardest on ourselves.
Yeah.
As artists. You've always been somebody who's been involved with the spiritual aspect of things. I mean, your name is Karma, for God's sakes. That really shows you that karma is a part of your message.
Yeah.
You know, like everything about you is like, treat people nice, because it could come back and bite you. Yeah. And me and you have a special story about this, because I remember you messaging me back in the day, back in the day, in the MySpace days. Yeah. And wanting to collaborate, or maybe even just wanting to see what, size me up and see where I was at on some ninja shit, right? and I literally was just lost in my own world because I was doing things, but I wasn't that serious of an artist. I mean, we were doing shows and people were using their name to get girls and stuff like that, things like that.
Okay, yeah.
So I just didn't get back to you in time, and by the time that I did hear about you again, it was far too late. Like it was like Dragon Ball Z or something. You guys were like...
That really happened, bro?
Yeah.
I kind of do remember that.
It was like Trunks, and you were like the young kid who literally just grew into like a savage overnight. Because when you first wanted to work... I was
training under the waterfall.
That's right. Real shit. But I'm really happy to say that karma served me well in the sense that when you did come back to the picture, you didn't want to decapitate me. Because if that would have been a bad interaction, you could have had the perfect opportunity to cut my shit short. You know what I'm saying? Because of how competitive the Tri-Cities was. Because back then, everybody was dying to, like, if you stepped on my, if you set me off, then I'm gonna let you have it, kind of shit.
And I'm glad you brought that up and on the pod, because I definitely want to say this. I think I already know you know more of this, but like, I think there might be. If anyone's in the mentality I was in Tri-Cities when I was trying to come up, this might help some people out there. Like, you really can't be getting hurt or like butt hurt or just like upset at people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I never got upset that you didn't hit me back or anything like that. Never would ever, like, because
you just figured
it's bigger than that. What I learned a lot when I actually like started to kind of like peek into the real industry, like the actual like Hollywood doors a little bit and to see what's going on in there, I started to realize a lot of it, there's some bullshit in there too, but a lot of it is just, a lot of that coincidence shit is just people being people and creating human connections. It's not really like people going around and like always like working together on everything. It's more like them being around each other all the time, them going to each other's events, them going to help each other out however they can, maybe sponsoring an event for them, maybe doing this, maybe collabing on a track, maybe pushing this, whatever it is. Right. And I think once I realized that, now I'm just like all about building with people, you know what I'm saying? And I'm really, if I don't hit someone back for a collab, trust me, it's not any offense. It just mean I didn't see it or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, on
there's
some
so
real
many
shit.
Things going on.
Yeah, because I want to build, bro. Like, if you show me someone from Tri and they're fire as fuck, I'm gonna be geeking up and down. Hey, I've been all over fucking trying to push my music. When I come back to the Tri where I started, and these people are fucking like turning me up and shit, I'm celebrating that. I'm not gonna fucking like step on toes or do any weird shit that we used to see back then by some people. You know what I mean? Fuck all that shit, man. I ain't ever been about that. Never fucking will be. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I want to make sure that that's clear, because sometimes, I don't know, sometimes like people who may be around me sometimes might be more like that, and I'm not like that. Just, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta put that energy out there. I fuck with this city. Hella proud of you, hella proud of Lebo, hella proud of Illest, hella proud of fucking Dickles and Z for keeping on it and still at it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so proud of so many people out here. I just don't say it enough, probably. You know what I mean?
I mean, you see it because you're on your mission, but you're also still tapped in.
Mm-hmm. I try to stay. I don't enough though. You know what I'm saying? I need to more. It's that time.
I think that the city's on the same frequency as you, like where they're at, where you're at, kind of. Where I don't think that it's gotten to the point where people are like, oh, Karma hasn't been around for a long time. Why does he still claim Tri-Cities, or why, things like that. Yeah. When those conversations starts happening, then it's like, okay, maybe I do need to revisit and maybe drop a tape or something, or shoot some music videos in town or something.
Exactly.
Because that would be crazy to see a video with you with a bridge behind it. Like, that would be insane, because like literally that's something that we do here because we really want to leave a landmark here. Mm-hmm. I think in the future, when they look at music videos and they see like, oh, everybody did all these videos in the past, look at all the bridges, they're going to incorporate it with what are the landmarks?
Landmarks.
Okay, that's what they're going to incorporate it with. So I'm thinking in the future how the Tri-Cities is going to look on a monumental level as far as making music. And I think that we really should establish more music with the higher up like established artists, because what it will do is it will kind of like influence the artists in the city to keep going or to start up, and it'll like enrich the soil, so to speak.
Yeah.
This podcast alone is going to open up a lot of eyes, because the podcast is really growing some legs on its own. Like,
fuck yeah,
it's getting its own audience, and we're getting people internationally are listening to us. So
that's awesome, man.
It's really important for me to connect the dots for people, because I think that people think that there are a lot of things going on, but they just don't have the picture put together. So when you get people out of the 509 and the Tri-Cities to start putting these pictures together for people, and they're like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't know that so-and-so knew so-and-so, and they were there, and that happened, and that led to this, and if it wasn't for these guys, this wouldn't have happened. Yep. Like, that's what it's all about. It's all about the connectivity and the electricity that comes from that. And I had a song one time where I said that I put the electricity in Tri-Cities.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, yes, sir.
So,
okay.
So I just say all that to say this, that you're a big part of Tri-City culture, Northwest culture as a whole. And I've always kind of protected your name in that sense. I, like the artists that you mentioned before, I protect them too. Because
I appreciate that, man. That's
we have to have each other's back. You know what I'm saying?
No, facts. I've definitely done that for you too a few times in my life. Like, yeah, so I already know. Now I think, but it's like, yeah. Now,
that's how it goes.
I'm like, yo, hold up. Sometimes you just have to, and it's not like, it always ends well, at least. Like, because when you give a perspective in a certain way, people, it really can help you. Oh, you know what, you're right, actually. You know what I'm saying?
Right, totally.
Like some people, for example, you know what I'm saying? Like, people used to always, like, put me and Lebo up against each other. I'm like, I never even met the guy, bro. Like, I'm fucking just stoked another rapper is, like, throwing shows and being talked about too, just like all of us are, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know, I had to make a like public post and kind of like show people that, and it made me realize you have to connect those dots. You have to show people these things. You have to, you really do. You can't just like expect them to read your mind and know that you actually really fucking are super gassed when you see another nigga from your city do some numbers and get some moves, and like, come on, nigga, that shit gets me geeked. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. Because they think no answer is a answer.
I know, yeah. Which it kind of is, though.
It kind of is.
You can't answer always, but it's like you need to connect the dots when you can. You know?
Yeah. And I think it's important that you show that you're not a bitter king. You know, in the sense where you do have a throne, you do have a kingdom that you've created on your own. Maybe you don't look at it like that, but that's how this rap shit works. It's kings and queens. It really is. So someone can look at you and be like, okay, he has all of the status. He has all of this power in this genre that everybody listens to or wants to be a part of in some sort of way.
Yeah.
How does he feel about somebody else who's building up quite rapidly right next to him?
Yeah.
Does he have an opinion on that? If not, how come? There's always just something about that, and I think that's what a lot of this becomes. It becomes gossip at some point.
Yeah, it does.
I remember I've heard people like throw a comparison. It's like, oh, who's better, Karma or G-Lo? And then, or who's better, Tory or so and so?
Yeah.
And you start to believe that this rap shit is just that. It's trading cards.
Yeah.
That's all it is. But you got to take the good with the bad when it comes to that. Absolutely. Because the same thing that kind of like makes you worried about kids listening to music is the same reason why kids listen to music. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I know that I listened to crazy shit because that was what my heart was set on. I wanted crazy shit. I wanted lit Cash Money Millionaire shit. I wanted 3-6 Mafia shit. Bad Boy, the fucking the No Way Out album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
My whole taste is set up around it. I want to talk about your show, but I want to push that back a little bit further because I want to give people the idea of who you are if they never heard about you prior to this conversation. So let's take it back. If we're gonna do an origins, where does this all start for you? Where does the spark that gets lit, that lights the fuse that brings us here today? Where does that start at?
Man, if we gonna start at the origin, and look, I haven't talked about it nearly as much as I have like in music and stuff, but it all started honestly because of my adoption. I would say, so I'm adopted, right?
Right.
And we lived in a place called Dyer, Indiana, which is like maybe a couple hours from Gary and like a half hour, 40 from Chicago.
Right.
And growing up, I just was obsessed with music, you know, my whole life. But my big problem was being adopted, especially. I was just so different than everybody in my family. Like the way I would act, the way I would talk, the way I would just like be myself naturally, you know what I'm saying? And I definitely got influenced by my family, but there's this other side to me that was in there, right? Mm-hmm. And it created an identity crisis for me, where I didn't know, like, I'm getting made fun of by black people, I'm getting made fun of by fucking white people, I'm getting made, you know? So I was like, where's a group I can latch? And there wasn't no group ever, you know what I'm saying? It was very like me, you know? Mm-hmm. So that created like this just identity crisis. And when I finally found that it really was coming to Tri-Cities and realizing I need to just be myself and not like trying to be this or be that or be that, I started to make music because it was like I loved 8 Mile, you know what I'm saying, so much, and I would rap behind the scenes when people weren't looking and shit. So I was like, fuck this, bro. I don't care about the people here if they judge me and shit. I'm gonna be the best rapper fucking ever, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it started, you know. So music became my identity, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's really the main thing that honestly just sparked it all, bro. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, I remember first seeing you and thinking like, this kid doesn't care about style.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Big backs though.
But it wasn't a bad thing, but it was interesting to me. Because from our standpoint, style was the entry point. Mm-hmm. Like to get in the door, you had to have some style.
Yep, that's the first step, what you see, right?
Yeah, but you were riding a different wave. Mm-hmm. You knew that something was coming that was so raw that you could walk in with some gym shorts and some fucking sandals and some tube socks and fucking get in and win.
Yeah.
It was like a grungy hip-hop wave that was coming. Mm-hmm. And you were right there for it. And I think that a lot of people were trying to end up there. Well, that's why they try to have like a whole like maybe rock star swag with their shits at some point. Like it was a big mainstream thing, but I think that like the young kids who were there in the underground, they saw it first. And maybe they did it subconsciously, but what it led to is the whole sound changing. Because if you look at like when Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole and everybody were coming together to create a sound vortex, that's when a lot of these young guys really started rapping better.
Yeah.
And I know that you came into the game with a couple individuals who I think are very worthy of mentioning. Capital is definitely one of them.
Yes, I talk to him every week still. That's my boy.
Dude, you two specifically, I looked at as like a product that Richland could really stand by.
Damn.
Like I always thought like if there was gonna be anybody who blew from Richland, I would hope it would be these two guys.
Wow.
You know, and Marquise, you know, I love him too, and a couple other guys. You guys were all great, and you guys were like it was too good to be true.
Yeah.
Like all you guys were from that city, and you were all dope, and you guys were all ready like for war, like right out the box. You guys were ready for war. It was crazy, you know. It was really intimidating to even like try to to step up to that. And I know a lot of people tried and failed, and a lot of people just continue to do their own thing. And the respect kind of came from that. Because we started to have to do shows together.
Yeah.
You know, we couldn't segregate the rap scene any longer. And it almost became like a competition thing to the two scenes.
Yeah.
To do so, because you had like Civic kind of like spearheading the movement between the battles. Right. Where he was strategically used like a hip-hop battle league to kind of like make himself bigger in the Tri-Cities and also like put like old rappers versus new rappers. So it was like maniacal.
I kind of missed that shit though. No, I'm not gonna lie. It created some moments, bro.
It was amazing. Yeah. It was a product of his sick, twisted mind. Because,
I know. Like, yes, facts.
He was so powerful that he was able to orchestrate it to that detail.
Yeah.
And I think I talked about it because he had a podcast. We did a podcast episode, you know, a few months back, and I think we might have talked about it a little bit. But it was very maniacal, and what I loved is all you guys had your own like little chunk of power, and you guys were all sharing it, and using it. So you guys were becoming bigger because you were fucking with each other. I want to talk about that time period.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you believe that was a special era for you guys when you guys were killing it, like all like almost synchronized killing, like?
Yeah, I think it really was. And for me at least, what it turned into eventually was me realizing like I should be throwing shows, but I should be partnering with like my people, like Justin Frick and John as is, and I partnered with Civic on Pineapple Island as well, and that really taught me that when you take these powerhouses, like you said, and you put them together, it just creates something more meaningful. And just as you get older, it's like if you're not doing it, it almost just feels narcissistic. It's like, nah, I want to build something with people. I don't want to give back. Be the nigga all the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nah, let's all be that nigga. Like, in our different ways. Like,
you want to break bread?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, this show we're doing for Spooky Island, it's going to be October 30th at the Uptown Theater again. And Justin and John and I are partnered again. We're just dream teamed up, clicked up, and we're just going to, like, if I did it without them, it would still be dope, but it just wouldn't be as good. It wouldn't, they're doing so fucking much, it's the same thing with Seattle. I'm starting to see more of those walls be breaking down and more people work together. And that all kind of was starting back then, during those rap battles. Totally. Back when we were all starting to throw our own shit.
Yeah, I did notice that, how they were coming over here and vice versa.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys were working on building that bridge, so to speak, before anything else, at least.
Yeah, and breaking walls everywhere, bro. I've always been about, I can't speak for anybody else, but I know at least I've always been about breaking walls and try as much as I could. And, it didn't always work, obviously. Right. But I came to Seattle and I tried to break walls a little bit. And, I don't know, man. Like, I think a lot of people around are trying to break walls, and it's kind of working. Like, we're all working together.
It's collectively working.
Yeah, we're really all just trying to figure this out and come together.
It's like we're ants in that fucking anthill, and we're kind of just collectively working in our own corners.
Yep.
And before you know it, there's gonna be a break where all the fucking sand comes through.
Exactly.
And that's what motherfuckers is gonna eat.
Yeah.
But that's what we're all working towards. I think that's what the new Northwest is to me. And what the new Northwest is just something that I threw together as a label. But
hell yeah.
Well, my idea of what it's going to be is like the music industry that we knew before. It's already dead. I mean, it's going on fumes, so to speak, right? So it's a reset. It's a huge reset. In the future, there's going to be a more localized aspect to the music, our music industry. So like the Northwest music industry is going to have the same power and effect that the old music industry had, but just in the local area.
Word.
So it's going to make it so more interactive that when the metaverse and fucking Oculus Rift and all this shit like starts to come into play, virtual shit, it's going to be really cool because it's going to all incorporate with it. So if you're thinking in the future how things are going to go, local is going to have the same sort of pull that national had in the past.
I can see what you're saying, because community, and it's crazy you say that, because I think that it's going to be that way a lot, even on political levels. Maybe it's going to become more local and community.
I think you're right. Yeah,
people are going to focus more on that, and then instead of the just one every 4 year thing. I like that.
Well, in order for the future to work in the way that it needs to, then it has to work on that smaller capacity scale too as well.
Yeah.
Like how when they talked about how 5G was going to work and how you needed to put a bunch of these fucking towers like everywhere.
Yeah.
So that the signals could get sent to each other like faster frequency, right? And to scare everybody because this is like, oh, this is so much more radiation, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
But it turns out that it's not that bad, right?
Yeah.
So you got all that going on, and then you realize that in the future, in order for the whole world to kind of be the future, then on some micro level, it has to be powered or computer chips sold on some small level.
Okay, yep.
So when you look at it like that, everything is some sort of some organism inside of an organism, right? So it makes sense that the local music scene is going to be able to fund millionaires.
Yeah.
Because I think that money's gonna start to like pot up, like almost in a jackpot sense.
Yeah.
For certain activities, like look at Versus for example. Versus is a futuristic idea for a show.
because it has crowd interaction. Mm-hmm. It has real legacy artists that are going toe to toe against each other with real catalogs. Mm-hmm. There's so many different ways that you can incorporate crowd interaction to this show. Yeah. And I believe that that's what the future is. More of a gladiator style crowd interacting show. Anything that could be like that format. Right. It's kind of like how the world's kind of heading.
It creates more intimacy too. It creates like more of a connection. I love that, man. I'm really excited to see where everything goes from this because there's been obviously downs, but like you said, bro, verses, like without all this shit, verses when it exists, that's kind of crazy, bro.
That's a big fact.
Fucking wild.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What is your favorite verses that you've seen?
Okay, obviously, I think it was the Lux.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I think it was the Lux, for sure. Yeah, I was a big, I was a big Sheik Luch fan back in the day. Okay, perfect story for the pod. I know if Tommy Cassidy hears this, he knows what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. I literally, back when I first moved here, I was like, I'm gonna be the best rapper ever. I didn't know how to rap yet, so I memorized motherfucking rappers' verses, and I would memorize all Sheik Luch's, and then I went to Tommy Nobi was like, hey, you should come to the cypher, you know what I'm saying, after school, and I go there, Tommy and him are rapping, and I just spit a Sheik Luch fucking verse. Everybody's like, damn, he's so dope. And then I hear like over like Tommy whispering to his homie like, dude, that was that song from that Jadakiss song. I'm like, fuck, he knows. And then a year later, when we ended up, not even a year later, we ended up rap battling. And he said that in the rap battle, and it crushed me. I was like, fuck, man, I really did that. What a corny ass nigga, bro. I really fucking spit a Sheik Luch verse.
He was saving that fucking bar for your ass.
Mm-hmm. Bro, shout out Tommy Cassidy. Yo, I can't believe that back then when I really didn't know how to freestyle, I fucking battled him off the top of the dome. Like, how suicidal am I? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy, bro. Like,
dude, that's fucking nuts, huh?
Yeah, fuck.
But see, that's the connecting the dots sort of thing, too.
Yeah, facts.
Because if people knew of him and then they know of you, they'd be like, wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah,
you know, it's kind of like when people hear about DMX going at Jay-Z. You know, they had that freestyle competition.
Oh, that shit was hard, bro. Yeah. I watched that all the time.
Yes, sir. I think, you know, in some sort of weird way, they're the perfect verses, DMX and Jay-Z. To see them go like toe for toe, even in the same era, if they were stuck to the same era, that would be an interesting fight. Because you would have like Jigga Wuggo against Money, Cash, Hoes, Money. You know, like
I know, yeah, that shit would be weird. Like, I'm here for it though.
Well, shit. Rest in peace, DMX. If maybe we can get the holographic version or something.
You know, like I'm still kind of like numb to that one. That was the one that like, holy shit.
When he died?
Yeah,
that was fucking crazy.
It took months to hit me. Yeah,
because we thought that he was gonna pull through for some reason. Like there was a lot of hope that he was gonna somehow beat this, like he had beat every other time before. But I think when it kind of kicked in, the sadness kind of followed immediately. And the rest of the world was kind of like, oh, this is fucked up, you know?
100%, man.
Rest in peace, DMX. I remember we did a podcast around the time when he died, and it was with me and Primo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Primo we were going through like our favorite DMX songs, and what was your favorite DMX song?
Okay, so I used to get, back when I wasn't used to smoking, I was like high as fuck, and I would put my blankets up over me in the middle of the day where it's dark as fuck and close my eyes with the headphones in and listen to Slippin' over and over and over and over and over constantly, bro. Like,
can't
get up. Like the mix, everything about it, it was just like, it's part of the reason why I rap, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was a unique artist in the fact that he was street, but he was also like really in touch with the Lord and mortality, and he had a real good understanding of life and death and good versus evil, like all the things that they teach you when you're a kid, you know, when you're going to church, or you know, it stuck with him because he had real life turmoil, you know, trying to get through drug abuse and a bunch of different things. Rest in peace. He can finally rest. That's the most important part about his life is that he left a life of beautiful art, and the legacy is amazing.
Facts.
It's just too bad that he just couldn't have eternal life, for example. You know, like, it would be great if we could keep these people forever, but, you know, I had a thought recently. I saw, like, a bunch of celebrities that I grew up off of with gray hair, and I thought to myself, like, that's sad. And I was like, wait a minute, why is that sad? That's an accomplishment. They're wearing, like, medallions because they've survived.
Yeah.
And they've left so much. And they're still here. Those are living legends. Like, they shouldn't feel bad about having gray beards or, you know, gray hair in general. Interesting thought. It's
like, it's that stage of your life. You should be just as proud as you were to be dope when you were young. And you're like, I'm young and I'm killing it. You like, I'm old and I killed it, been killing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's more legendary. It's like,
I agree.
Yeah.
I think us growing up, I know my generation for sure, we looked at the elders as badasses because there was a respect for an elders that we maintained. Up until like younger generations, I can see when the change probably happened. They started looking at older people as more as an inconvenience rather than like a source of knowledge. Yeah. Because elder people, not to be derogatory, they're halls of knowledge. They have so much information. Yeah. And if you tap in and you utilize some of that wisdom, I mean, it just enhances your life tenfold.
Absolutely.
There's some people who never know that or never understand that, and that's just too bad. But I think that people like us have to restore culture where it kind of brings back some of that tradition. Not so much the things that people dread as far as like tradition goes, like, you know, religion or whatever. But like the things that make things like feel like home. Things that make things feel like culture. Yeah. You know? That's what I think that your music has, in a sense that you haven't given up on the lyrical word. Yeah. As long as you're still saying some shit in your bars, I'm going to be listening every fucking time. Yeah. You discovered that you have to create a different concoction to get a more vast audience. Yep. And I think there's integrity in that still, because it's you who's creating. It's you who's cooking. You don't allow anybody to write your bars for you. No. And the producer plays minimal in the effect of you writing your song.
And it's, you know, even more importantly too, is like, I'm always open to like collabing in that sense too, but it has to be, if it's for me, you know, it has to be me, you know, it has to be me. If someone like, cause there's been times Nobi has helped me with writing shit before, you know what I'm saying, where he's like, oh, what this? But he knows me and it fits. I'm like, oh, you're right. That's what it is. And it just like, it's almost like sometimes you do still need those people that know you enough to like get that puzzle piece that they know that is in the back of your head. You just forgot, put it down for you, but it's still you. That's the important thing. You know what I'm saying? Make sure it's you. Like, make sure it's not you're just saying it because it rhymes or it sounds cool or because like everybody else rhymes it that way or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? So, I try to do that at least, you know what I'm saying? And I'm learning every day, though, you know? I learn every day, and it's not always perfect. I hear lines of old shit all the time where I'm like, oh, why'd I do that, bro? You know what I'm saying?
I totally understand. Dude, I listen to some of my old projects where I'm like, man, I gotta delete this as soon as I can. And it's like, what the fuck?
But it's like, no, keep that legacy up, bro.
I think that I'm doing this thing where I want to create like the perfect albums. And then after that, I can burn the fat off of what I don't need. You know,
I feel it.
But once I need at least 5 pieces of like art that I can say is like, this is unbeatable. And then I'll get rid of the small projects and shit like that that's on the side. But for right now, you know what my new thing is? Doing EPs with people, the established artists. They have their own like Spotify, Apple. They got their own audience. They promote and push it the same way I do. I did one with my homie G-Loc. I'm about to do one with my homegirl Lyric.
Oh yeah, I know Lyric. I know both of them.
She's really dope.
Not like personally. Well, I know G-Loc. I don't know if me and Lyric had the chance to meet, but yeah, I've heard of her.
Yeah, we'll have to link up sometime. She's really talented. She's got like a 90s style of like R&B flow.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then her rap is technical and it's smooth.
Okay.
So she's a killer in 2 worlds. You know what I'm saying?
It's not easy to do, man.
No, definitely not. And she's been rocking with a couple of my other homies, and I think that the important thing is for us to all kind of like bring our minds together and create art or create content in general that's going to help enrich our soil, so to speak, like I've been kind of saying. I like a lot of the music that I've heard from you as of late, because you've been dropping the singles like as a different approach to how you release music in the past.
Yeah.
What's the kind of inspiration behind the new approach to things? Was it you thinking like, I got to give them more music sooner, or what was the thought process behind that?
When I started doing that, I realized that I felt like putting out singles, it was almost like putting out one-track albums. I more thought of it like that, if that makes sense. And I wanted each one to just like be a moment. And another big reason I did that too on the business side was because, I could not afford videos anymore, at all. So I was like, what can I do? I used to release songs very spread out with a dope music video, and now it's like, what if I just give them singles a lot more often? So I did that for a few months. I think we dropped like 6 or 7. And then now my approach is getting this show set up, getting another show set up, building this Dream Team Productions company to start throwing shows in Seattle, Portland, Spokane, and Tri, and using that to funnel into music videos in the future. But until then, I'm just gonna drop singles while I'm doing my show thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, that's the plan for now.
Artistically, how do you choose a direction to go in?
Artistically, honestly, bro, some days it's like, okay, I got a certain vibe, but most of the time, 90% of the time, I just catch a vibe. Like I rather just like, if I want something kind of turnt and heavy, I'll tell like my producer that, and we'll go through some sounds, and when I hear one that like motivates me, I'm like, make something with that, and he'll start playing with patterns until one hits me right and motivates me, and then boom, that's all I really need to get going. It's like that low end mainly, you know what I'm saying? Totally. Once I get that bass or that 808 hitting right, and I'm sent, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hell yeah.
There's another side of me though. That's one side. That's the more kind of like rapping and turning up side, but on the melodic side, sometimes I like to just have a guitar playing, bro. Like, have someone fuck with a guitar till we find a melody I fuck with, and then just kind of like sing over it. Kanye, just kind of scat over it until I catch a melody, and then put lyrics into that.
Yeah. So you do got like a two personality sort of thing going on.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. You could even like do 2 projects, like where you drop them at you drop them at the same time almost.
Facts.
And that would be a great marketing idea too, because it would work. It would be like a unique idea where it would promote itself.
Yeah.
Because it would have such a magnitude where people would be drawn to it, as opposed to you having to put it upon other people. Like like traditional marketing.
Yep.
When you advertise things, what you're trying to do is get things seen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, an object like that, an image like that, is gonna pull eyes out of the fucking sky, so to speak. People are gonna look at it that never would have looked at it, just simply because of how unique the idea is. Like, look at Nelly when he dropped Sweatsuit. Hey.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people went and ran to that.
Yeah.
Not because it was great, but just simply because it was just such a unique idea for him to try to do. Look at T.I. versus T.I.P. That's another one of those things.
I mean, shit, look at the Country Road song. I mean,
yeah,
bruh, like, damn, you know, like he did something insanely different, and then
that's all it takes. Speaking of insanely different possibilities with like apps and technology, TikTok.
Yeah,
I kind of want to ask you about that, because you have developed your own little following on TikTok. They really fuck with you and your videos that you do for them.
I don't know about fuck with me, but yeah, the niggas be watching me do stupid shit. It's a whole different like crowd there.
It really is, dude. See, I want to talk about that too.
Yeah.
I noticed that the comment section for TikTok and for Twitter are my favorites.
Yes,
because
I know.
They're so interesting. They really are. You really get to see the full spectrum of human creativity.
Yeah.
Because you really get some really creative people.
It's amazing, man.
I like TikTok because it has like a lot of editing capabilities, and there's just so much more you can do with an app. Like if you likened it to like a fucking meal, it's the steak, the meat on the bone. When you're done with it, you can just keep picking at that motherfucker. That's how this app is. You can just sit on this app, keep editing, and you can edit for an hour. You could sit there and edit for an hour and then drop something and get like 130 views. You know, but it's just the whole process of like, this could go viral.
And it's like, it's not even could, it's almost like will if you're consistent enough.
Yeah.
And you try, you find your niche that works, then you're consistent and you try test things out. And when you find one that works, you fucking double the fuck down on that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Boom.
Yeah.
Okay.
The way it started with me was, check this, it was like, this was right during probably, I don't know if it was during the beginning, probably in the middle of just when I was in the slump of just everything going on, is included with my own business things and then obviously the world. And I just like was on TikTok and I realized on there, like, I wouldn't get the anxiety, the self-doubt sometimes, the like comparison vibes that I get on Instagram and Facebook, you know what I'm saying? I would just like be laughing about dumb relatable shit, you know what I'm saying, all day, and it like uplifted me when I really needed it. So I was like, one day, fuck it, let's just make some funny TikToks that have nothing to do with music. So I started shooting my girl in the butt with a Nerf gun, you know what I'm saying? And like I just did it a few times. There was one time she was like cleaning something and I just snuck up on her with the broom and like poked her in the butt. Stupid shit, right? Yeah. And then it just started going viral. So I was like, oh hell yeah. And I just made literally like hundreds of those, you know, because it takes us not long at all. And then I just really doubled down on it, learned the algorithm. It's pretty easy to learn once you figure it out. And then yeah, man, like it's fun. You know, I do it on the side for fun, and sometimes I'll put my music in there to promote it, but I try not to make it a like promote my music page, you know, because it doesn't do as well when I do that. So
you have to hide it in there.
Yeah, sneak it in, because if I can get it big enough, it won't matter, you know. They'll hear that eventually. They'll get to it.
It's like a Dogface 420. He's smart, man.
I love that dude. Yeah, he's fire.
He turned positive energy to his brand.
Yeah,
like literally, a lot of people say that he got us out of the pandemic.
I believe it, man. Because he saved lives, bro. He saved lives during that shit. That's some real shit.
His whole story is amazing. Yeah. You know the whole story about him, like his truck breaking down and how he was riding to work on his longboard. And he did that TikTok and he blew the fuck up.
Dude, that like inspires me, bro. These are the things that give me goosebumps, you know, give me hope, you know what I'm saying? Like stupid things, I know there's that little stupidness of like, this is so dumb almost, but it's like that spark of relatability and happiness and little freedom, and just seeing that sometimes lifts you up, man.
Oh yeah, big time. And the fact that it could happen to anybody, like anybody could literally struck the fame lottery on TikTok and then become a sensation overnight.
Oh, like just like that. If you have your first viral, you'll get like 20, 30, 50K in a few days. It's insane.
I think that's the only place that's launching viral videos now. TikTok.
I agree.
I don't think I've heard of it launching anywhere else.
People will like even upload the viral ones from TikTok to YouTube now, and like some of them will react to those too on YouTube. It's like
that's facts.
And then the watch time, you heard about the watch time going? It's bigger than YouTube now.
Oh wow.
On TikTok.
Bro. Oh for real?
Yeah, which is absolutely monumental.
In its entirety?
Yeah, like it is. There's now more watch time on TikTok than YouTube. Yeah, they surpassed them.
Dude, the algorithm for TikTok is actually really impressive too, as well.
It's fantastic, man.
The way that it really pinpoints like the things that then get your brain going, and then it starts to serve you more of that. It's really interesting. They were saying that there's not a lot of artificial intelligent like software that really matches like TikTok's. Yeah, like it's really strong. I agree. As far as a social media platform, I don't think that any can match up with it, and the fact that it's blown up so fast in such little time. It's funny how when things got political, they've threatened to even like ban it from America.
I forgot about it. Isn't that wild?
That's crazy that was even a thing. But
when it got banned in India at first, that's when my numbers went down like crazy for a bit. Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, because India, it was such a huge thing in the country where it was already starting to affect people's lives, apparently. Yeah. At least that's what they were saying. But I think that that's possible anywhere. I mean, in America, if you allow it to get to a certain level, it'll be bad. Like if you've heard of devious licks, have you heard of this?
No.
Devious licks is a trend that happened on TikTok where
I do.
Kids were taking things from bathrooms at school. And they were vandalizing things, this, that, and third. And it got so bad that school started having to lock the bathrooms and
Jesus, bro.
All sorts of crazy shit, right? Well, then there's another trend that came up about where they were starting to say that kids were going to start doing this was like slug a teacher or some shit like that.
So, slug a teacher? Just like knock them out?
Yeah. So apparently some teachers were wanting to carry a gun to school.
Damn.
It got to that point.
Yeah, they deaded that so quick because I be getting banned for shooting butts sometimes. Like now they don't play because
TikTok is having to start. That's why
it was a Wild West back in the day on there, huh?
Yeah, I mean it's funny how the Wild West is every site until it gets too big.
Yeah.
But TikTok was really fun. I mean, when I first got on TikTok about a year ago, it was a different place than it is now. I mean,
yeah,
you know, because you get you can't do anything weed related on TikTok.
You have to hide it. Like I have. It's funny because I have a weed sponsor on there, but like I just put their link in my shit, and then I wear like a shirt and a lanyard and things like that, and it works. It gets by, but I can't actually just smoke the shit.
Oh,
you know
shit!
What I'm saying? It's so dumb that you have to even do that. But
it's hella dumb.
Helps you get more creative though, because you can use smoke effects and do funny stoner TikToks and shit like that.
No, you're right. That's pretty awesome though that you have that kind of sponsorship in your TikTok. Did you ever think like, damn, like that's what it's gonna be? You know, like it's TikTok's gonna be the platform where I get sponsored.
No, never did I think that was gonna be the one where I'm getting like millions of hits and shit. Like I'm almost embarrassed sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I definitely don't be bragging about it. You know,
it's crazy how reality works. So like,
yeah,
you like. The world was going to go one way regardless.
Yeah, facts.
and you were able to kind of figure out the direction in which it was going. Mm-hmm. So you're able to be an early adopter in a sense and benefit from all of this innovation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What people can really learn from that is don't really fight the new thing.
Yes. I never have been about fighting the new thing. Maybe like the first few years of me rapping and shit, but like that shit dead it off real quick, you know? I think that's bad. I sometimes have to tell my dad that too. I'm like, hey, man, don't get bitter old on me right now, but like, stop that.
How's your pops with technology?
Bro, he's amazing. He actually worked for, like, he used to work for Apple back in the day when Steve was there, and he also he used to be a rocket scientist for NASA and shit. So it's funny you said that because maybe we talked about him before, but he's like super smart.
Wow, that's fucking mind blowing.
Yeah, bro.
Because I didn't know that, but that's amazing because I really feel like genetically some things are passed down. Like my dad, for example, he's a really sharp guy, really clever guy.
Word.
And he's able to kind of I feel like he's able to think 2 steps ahead of everybody.
Word.
Right? So I've kind of adopted that in my life where I kind of feel like a lot of my life is strategy, but a lot of it is just me feeling the situation out and kind of making my moves on the fly. Because I learned a lot from him, but there's a lot of things genetically that have been passed down. So I bring that all up because your pops is smart. Come on, NASA, Apple.
I know, yeah. Wow.
So for you, I draw it into the fact that your mental processing. There's something with you that's real special because the way that you are with the flow is almost automatic. It's almost like a fucking machine. So it's I think that you got something that these other guys don't fucking got. You know, as far as
I appreciate that.
Brain processing, you're a machine. You know what I'm saying? And I look up to that because a lot of us have to actually train ourselves and try to get to a certain condition where we can fucking fuck with you guys. It's like X-Men or some bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel
it. You know what I'm saying? Because you got guys like Civic who I'd say the same fucking thing about. That boy's fucking quick. He's smart. He's like a machine too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
some X-Men shit. So I'm definitely giving you guys props. But
no, I appreciate it, man.
But I feel like a lot of us motherfuckers are earthlings compared to y'all niggas.
No, don't be saying that. Don't put me in that position. No, you know what?
It's like Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z is a better comparison.
You know what I feel? I look, maybe you are right, but I do want to say this: the amount of training I did is unnatural. Like, the amount of training I did was fucking unnatural, bro. Like, because you gotta think.
I'm curious about that world.
Because you gotta think. Look, I moved here, right? I'm having this identity crisis. Like, my family's not looking. They don't look like me and act like me or like the things I like. They're great people, but it's just like I have no connection with the people and the different cultures I'm running into.
Right.
Because people, like, you know, like I said, I bullied on this side, bullied on that side. So I'm like, fuck this. I'm gonna be the dopest nigga fucking ever. So I literally, it is that story you see in, like, the crazy fucking movies where he's up all night just, like, writing until 5 a.m. and then rapping until his fucking vocal cords get bloody, and then wake up the next morning, get excited about what he wrote, run to the fucking garage and do it again until he has to sell a sack. Then he goes raps for them while he sells them a sack, comes right back, gets right back to writing, gets out of gas. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna watch an interview and then I'm gonna watch someone freestyle for a few hours until I feel it again, and then get back at it, practice all the verses I did. And then I would do that, bro. I did that 5 years. I remember strictly the first 5 years I did not take a fucking day off. I remember there was a vacation we had once, and I was so stressed because I was like, where the fuck am I gonna rap? So I had to sneak out when everyone's asleep into a car and just rap in the back of the car every night. So it's like, I really want to emphasize how much training went into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'll when I can find it, I'll pull up like a really old recording too and send it to you. Cause you can tell, like, I was still, you know, there was a time I was trash, like 12 years ago. I was garbage, bro. But I did not give up studying and training constantly. Those two important. Study, train. You know what I'm saying?
Train.
No.
Yes. It's amazing that you say that because I remember when you first, like I told you earlier, I remember when I first heard of you, and then I remember when I heard of you again, and it's like, holy shit, a lot happened from that point to that point.
Damn.
And I know that me personally, if I had grown that much, I wouldn't have known it.
Wow.
I wouldn't have been able to see it. Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it was someone else and someone close.
Word.
That was growing that fast, and that was alarming.
Damn.
So I can kind of say that I might have felt like Kanye felt towards Drake, in a sense, initially.
Okay, where I feel you.
Where he you got this admiration, like, holy shit, he's from where I'm from. He's doing the same thing that I'm doing, but he might be doing it a little bit better.
Okay,
you know
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And then it's like, I appreciate that, but I hope he has the same respect for me.
Word.
Because
I feel it.
If not, then I can definitely show him why he should.
Mm-hmm.
And then we could do the rapper thing back and forth. Right?
You know, the tradition.
And I think that subconsciously that we do the rapper thing without even thinking about it sometimes. And I know that my top 10 of all time in the Northwest, you were always definitely in the higher up. Because I saw it from like the songwriting and like overall, as an overall artist, you're somebody who checks all the boxes. But it's just so impressive to see somebody in the driver's seat of their own ability. You know what I'm saying? You're fully capable of taking this to the next level as long as you figure it out. You got to figure it out first, though. Mm-hmm. That's why I defend you so much in conversations where you become such a big part of conversations, like barbershop conversations.
Of course.
Amongst people like around here, because everybody knows who you are, what you've done, what you're doing. That they like to drop your name like it's like the game or somebody, you know, like when you're doing a comparison or so. And I always come from the perspective like, oh, you got them fucked up. Mm-hmm. Because you don't know about this, and this, and this, and this. Yeah. I always know about everything besides the main focus of the picture. Word. Because that's where the podcast world kind of has me at. But also my whole life I've been like that. Mm-hmm. I kind of like look for the details that no one's talking about. Word. Because to me that tells a story that's a lot deeper than just what everyone's going to talk about initially. So when it comes to karma, I always wanted to hear a podcast with you on it. And I know that you started dropping a couple different podcast features that you had been on early on.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to listen to any of them because I knew that one day we would do a podcast. And I didn't want to be influenced by anybody.
Oh, I fuck with that. Okay, you see, you chess, you just like your props, you thinking ahead, bro.
I have to.
Come on, man.
I have to.
I fuck with it.
And I even did a couple podcasts on my own before I did my own podcast. Like when I did the Vanilla Children podcast. Those guys are awesome.
Homies. Yeah, I love
and you guys have done podcasts with them too. It was all kind of getting us to this where we're at now. I think specifically the universe is starting to align a lot of our like alternative, like our parallel universes are starting to align.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say.
That's real.
And a lot of people who wouldn't be coming in contact with people otherwise are starting to come in contact. Like you're in my living room right now.
I know, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts.
That's a big example of what I mean. So like you're going to start to see, I think, huge opportunities to start to arise just for us specifically.
Word.
So I want to make sure that the young artists that are out there understand that this is a lot of fun and it's all possible, but it's all about what you participate in and what you actually contribute to it. Because there's been so many times where I've said, okay, I want to do shows, but like if you're going to be on the show, you got to sell tickets.
Yeah.
You know, like that's just it. Everybody's got to sell tickets. We got to make sure the show is successful.
I know you. Yeah, I know you motherfuckers want to perform in front of people.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Big time.
Yeah.
And then another thing is like when you're at the show and you perform and your whole crowd is there for you and then you leave, they leave too. So it's like, yeah, try to make sure that they stay for the whole show. Because that's just good etiquette in general. See, a lot of people won't hear that until it's like already too late. Where they're done 3 shows or something, they don't get invited back for a 4th. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day,
is that what be happening out here a lot? Like,
I think so. I think to a certain extent. Like there used to be shows where, that's safe to say. There used to be a lot of shows consecutively that I remember where it was a popularity thing. Where you would get like 40 people there to see you, and then as soon as you performed, okay, everybody's like, people are breaking out to go home. Like, oh, suddenly people have to go home because they have school tomorrow, or they have show, or they have to work tomorrow at church, or whatever the rigmarole, right?
That really is such a different mentality too. I wonder if that really is in a smaller town that is still growing in the music industry thing.
Yeah.
Or if that's
it's
just
definitely smaller town. It's got to be
because I don't see it in Seattle. Like mostly people like want to like at least try it, and then if they don't fuck with them, they'll walk away. But you know.
See, I figured that there'd be so many people in Seattle that you could find, a good group.
That's probably what it is.
Of anything. Yeah. Because like if you were to just be like, okay, I want to have a meeting of people who are into anime from 1993.
You can find that. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
You can fill the whole cafe.
Yeah.
Or where the fuck you're meeting at. So like
we gotta like it's almost like we gotta train the city almost like to like support like, hey, this is what happens when you actually support local art. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of it is that gardening. It's like gardening in a sense because you guys are showing the culture how it's supposed to cultivate. As opposed to waiting for cultivation to happen organically.
Yes, bro. Bars right there. Come on, yo. Take notes, y'all. Like, come on.
But you see, you've been on both sides of it, so you can recognize it. And I think that's what a big Tri-City problem has been. We've expected the wave to kind of lift us up and then bring us to higher grounds, rather than us creating the higher grounds and then, navigating through the wave or creating the revenue from the wave. Because if you have the infrastructure, then when the wave comes through, everybody just kind of benefits from that. But the infrastructure has to be set. And
otherwise, the water just goes right by.
Totally. It's like when the best examples are like Houston back in the day.
Yeah.
When you had like Chameleonaire, Paul Wall, like all these guys in Texas in the small area. When MTV came through, they were able to do a whole fucking freestyle cypher or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They were able to showcase like, My Block, Houston, Texas, where they did a showcase where millions of people saw some of these artists in the most intimate settings. The reason why I bring that up is when you get artists that are working together, that's when you get industry wanting to work with us on a very up close level. MTV, Doritos, Taco Bell. All these motherfuckers could be like, hey, let's go break bread in the Northwest. You know, in the 509, why the fuck we got all this area out here? Why not? You know, we could totally do some shit. So that's what the future really is for us Northwest artists. But when I was talking about infrastructure, what I mean by that on a personal level is like artists have to have like discographies. They have to have albums that are done professionally. They have to have like, you know, websites, social media, usernames, everything. Everything's got to be looking official and professional as possible. Because that's infrastructure.
Yeah.
When the local artists when the local listeners start to open their eyes to what's around them, the first things that they're going to find are the ones who already have their accounts set up. That's 9 times out of 10. The biggest rapper is going to be the one who has 1 million plays on Spotify already. Not the one who's about to get that shit.
Yeah. So that's real, though. Yeah.
That's where we're at. I think that a lot of people are forgetting what's real and what's fake with this internet shit. So it's good to keep a perspective, like 1 foot in reality, 1 foot in the digital world. And I try to look at things as such, but I don't know, it's easy to get lost in that digital space.
No, it really is. It's about balance, man. I had to learn. Like, I don't scroll on Instagram or Facebook anymore. I'll only scroll on TikTok occasionally, and then I'm an uploader, not downloader. That's how I look at it. You know, my manager's brother taught me that one time. He's like, bro, I try to upload more than I download. You know, and that shit kind of like really got me off the phone because it did fuck with my head. You remember how I was in answer every message mode? Oh my God. I'm never that fucked my health up for a while. You can't do that, bro. You can't be answering 100, because then what you do is you'll miss 2, and then you'll start thinking, oh, those people don't fuck with you, and then every once in a while you might miss 1 and somebody blocks you because of it, because you answered these 5 motherfuckers but not, and then it's just like after years and years and years and years and years of that, you start to go cuckoo a little bit, and you're like, all right, I gotta put this phone down, bro, and not post or even care for a while. You know what I'm saying?
Can you explain the upload download thing, like in a little bit more detail?
Yeah. So, honestly, like uploading is just anytime you're on the internet and you just like watching something, or you're just like, which is important because, you know, it's good to go out there and learn and grow. That's downloading. I'm saying uploading is when you go out there and you motherfucking like, you start posting your music, you start like promoting your content, you start maybe making TikToks and maybe doing this or that, whatever it is. You start a YouTube channel, you start a podcast, you start Twitch, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so I'm trying to find that balance, and that balance of like making sure the upload size is bigger than the download side, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Totally. Because what I remember from you is that you became really big and really popular by getting people to share on Facebook.
Yeah.
Because you would have hundreds and hundreds of shares. And this is back when Facebook's algorithm wasn't as tough as it is now. Yeah. Where you could really get a huge reach from these shares.
I know you can get up to like 1,000 likes and back then on a personal Facebook. You know,
that's so unheard of nowadays.
It's damn it. They don't allow it. Like, it's like, you didn't spend money on our ads. Fuck no.
But you had it to the point of where I would see you pop up with a different account, and I just always figured it was like them trying to hate on you in some sort of way.
Oh, okay.
For having like an ability, having so much of a reach over your audience.
Oh yeah, when I had to change my name and shit, and they. So I got the new one. Yeah, but then I was just like, bruh, I need to think bigger than one platform.
Exactly. You know But that's when you were just focusing on that. But that was right out of high school, wasn't it?
Yeah, during and straight out of,
One thing that I used to say, and I love I can be this honest with you now.
Yeah, of course.
One thing that I used to say is that karma, and this was in the very beginning when I was kind of hating a little bit.
Okay, yeah, let's hear it. Like, I'm ready.
That karma was right in the high school wave.
Oh, yes, sir, I would. But I had no friends, but I still found a way to do it.
That's what my big thing was. Yeah. That I was trying to point out the fact that you translated your real life high school fan base into a digital form.
Yeah. Yeah,
like they propelled you into the digital form. So that was true, but it was kind of like a hater-ass thing to say, because I was like pissed off that I couldn't do that quite with my music, because I came up in the time period where MySpace was really a thing, and we were trying to like get hot off MySpace.
Yeah.
And we were trying to book shows off of MySpace. We actually booked a little bit of a tour off of it.
Oh, that's fucking lit. Off MySpace? That's legendary, bro.
Right, but it was tough because, I mean, Illis was around and he was really doing it back on the MySpace days.
Damn, that's fire.
He was Young Jay.
Okay, word.
Yeah, but anyways, it's just crazy to think about how, like, social media really, like, played a part in a lot of our careers.
Yes.
Like when Soulja Boy came through and did a whole bunch of shit with the social media shit. He was the first rapper to really do it.
Yeah.
But that was like when we were doing it. So we were side by side in the innovation of a lot of this stuff.
That's crazy, bro.
And I never really thought of it like that, but it was true. It was happening because when Soulja Boy was popping up on MySpace, so was I. You know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy to think that I literally was a part of that. But when you look at the history books, you get the first thought that you were just a person who witnessed it happen.
I see, yeah. You were really in that shit.
We were really in that shit, yeah. And we were doing a lot of the sounds that were big without even thinking about it. Like the New Boys, like that You're a Jerk shit. Yeah. We were doing that kind of music without even knowing we were in that genre specifically.
That's crazy, man.
So when you look at the whole trajectory of your whole career, it's like amazing where you were at. Like this was a time pocket that you were like on this sound.
Yes.
You remember when Drake dropped like a dark ass sound? Like that if you're reading this it's too late sound?
Yeah, I think that's still my like favorite Drake album, bro. Yeah. Fucking sure. I'm trying to think. Yeah. The one with the blue cover.
You know
it was the one with the writing.
Yeah, the writing.
Oh, I'm a motherfucking legend.
Yeah, that one right there. I love that one too. I love that shit. But I think the producers have made that style of beat a billion times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That dark, like up-tempo, like piano organ kind of beat. And I forget why I bring this up, but I'm glad that you mentioned that that's one of your favorite. Is that your favorite Drake project?
Honestly, I really do think it is. But if I have to be honest, Drake is one of those people now. It's like, I need to give him the respect I gave M and J and Kendrick and go actually study every one of his albums. You know what I'm saying? I haven't actually done that. You know what I'm saying? So it is so far, but after I go and listen to every single one like 5 times, I might change. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I like Take Care a lot.
Take Care, of course. Fucking legendary. Yeah.
Specifically because when I had the first Take Care album, I remember I had it twice. I had it one time because I received it on a burnt CD.
Okay, word.
And it was crazy because I remember it like it was just yesterday. I woke up. I was living at my parents' crib for some reason. I forgot how old I was. But I woke up and I was on the fucking floor because I was sleeping. I didn't have my own bedroom. I was sleeping on the fucking floor. Yeah. And a Drake music video was playing on MTV. And it was the headlines. And I was like, oh, shit, Drake's shit's about to drop. Yeah. And I got a burnt CD of his album like that day or the next day. And I put it in my CD player that was in my 2-door Honda Accord 1994 or some shit. You know, the hardtop joint or whatever. Yeah. And I was driving to the mall to go check my schedule because I was working at like Spencer's, I believe. Okay, word. And I remember I was gone for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, like not long. I checked my schedule and then I went back to the car. Word. By the time I got back to the car, my fucking stereo was gone. And so was that fucking Drake CD. Damn. So when I think about Take Care, I always think about me getting my shit jacked. But then again, what makes it special is that I ran out and bought the fucking CD again. Because that's how good it was. Damn. Even though I got my shit stolen, I still wanted to get the CD.
It's like that.
And I really feel like that's how you determine what real good music is. Because if you get your shit stolen and you don't give a fuck about the CD, that really shows something too.
No, it does. And also, that was also still back when like CDs and we weren't so overwhelmed with releases every single day. So it's like when there's a release, like you really listen to it 10 fucking times. I miss that, bro. Because you had to. What else you gonna listen to?
Having the actual object in your hand, where you had the production credits and the little pamphlet booklet, and the art was on every aspect of it. It was just something magical. I remember that was my favorite thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every classic had an iconic cover. That's why to this very day I still think that the album cover is the most important part of the whole album creating process. And I know what a lot of people would think, like, oh, what about the actual recording of the songs? I think that's a given. But I think that the most important part, outside of the music actually not being shit, is the way that you present your album.
I agree.
Because if your album cover tells a story that doesn't match up to the album, that's bad. But if the album cover exceeds what the music actually contains, that's bad too. So you have to find some sort of medium where the album cover makes sense for it to kind of tell the whole story about what your music is saying.
Yeah.
And I think that I've always hit it on the nail because I have such an abstract way of looking at things that I can incorporate myself in a way that's kind of like not so egotistical, but more so artsy. When it comes to your covers, where do you draw inspiration for any kind of cover, any kind of visual representation of who you are as a brand or an artist?
Honestly, I love that because the artwork is probably some of my favorite too. I feel like I get excited on every aspect of it, from just keeping it, make sure it's a representation of me and what I'm trying to portray in the album, but also I like the marketing aspect. Like, what colors will make them click and want to check it out? What imagery might capture someone's eye when they're scrolling on Spotify through all the artworks? Which ones? So I'll do that thing. I'll go on and I'll just on the top list looking at the artwork until I stop and click on one, and I'm like, why did I click on this one? And what colors are there? And I like all of that shit, bro. I like the representation of the colors too. Like, each one of my albums, I made sure there's like a brand, there's like a color brand to each one. So Sugar is pink and white, and then I dropped a little EP called Juice that I wasn't able to promote it like I did Sugar, but I made sure it still had that aspect of what I did with Sugar, and that one was like an evolution in the sense where it just went from pink to purple. So it was like purple, dark purples and blues, and this next one that I have is looking more like gold, yellow, gold, maybe black in there. You know what I'm saying? So I love all of it. When it comes to the cover art, bro. Like all the aspects. I don't just see artwork when I look at it. I'm thinking of colors, the way it makes you feel, everything.
The whole spectrum.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you. I'm glad you reminded me. I wanted to know how deep into are you in the creative process of your album themes? Like how you were saying Sugar, Juice. When I first saw it, and this is me being real with you, I thought that looks like a collaborative effort between him and maybe Justin Frick.
Yeah, 100%.
Because there's some of those there's an aesthetic that kind of I had seen before, but maybe with a different artist.
Yeah.
So it was almost like, oh, so this is Justin Frick's universe.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like the Marvel universe where you have the characters who kind of all intertwined with each other. So I was like, okay, so it makes sense when I see one of your logos pop up in somebody's video.
Yeah.
Like a hidden egg. But see, that's me on the outside trying to figure out what's going on in your world.
Yeah. So it's always been, so at the beginning, the first few years of me doing it, I just, everything me. But then I started to I was like, all right, this isn't really working. So I just was started to fuck with people I just trust, you know what I'm saying? And Justin was one of those people I've been watching him make videos for a while. So I was like, shit, I'm gonna start fucking with Justin. I started fucking with him. We made some shit, and I just gave him, I didn't even worry. I was just I'm just gonna give him my trust and see what happens. And ever since then, what we were able to do together was take who I am and my brand already and just really narrow down to what it is and just elevate that and bring that out. So I was really into bright, colorful things, my whole life. I always wish I could wear Hawaiian shirts all the time since a boy. You know what I'm saying? Since 2005 when I went to Hawaii, I've always loved wearing comfortable clothes more than fancy clothes, you know. That's why I'm like wearing sweats right now, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you do what feels good.
Yeah, and then I also, like, I'm a goof, bro. Like, I'm not too serious all the time. Like, I have a spiritual side and I have a goofy side. So it's like, we really wanted to bring that out and not be the cool rapper that I kind of was trying to be, you know what I'm saying? I had to be more me. I'd be the person I'm being in my mom's house, the goofy little kid walking around in a Hawaiian shirt. You know what I'm saying? So he really helped me bring that out. So 100% collaborative effort. And John actually helped with that too, a lot. So it was just the three of us really. And but with every project I do, there's those people I run it by, right? They're always it, but now I have more people too. Like, I'll run it by my manager or something, or sometimes I'll just hit up an artist homie or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? I choose different people sometimes. I asked you about Sugar Addict before it dropped too, you know what I'm saying? Just like, I like to get perspectives from people I fuck with all the time, like, but it's never really always like one person, unless maybe frickin' John, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Whoever you have a rapport built up with, probably.
Who I fuck with, you know what I'm saying?
In the studio with these people, you know, close environments with these people. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. My friend McIntosh helps me a lot with like little marketing things, like too. You know,
I'm the same way with like Illis and G-Loc and, you know, the Indie and a couple other guys that I fuck with heavy. I'll just send them the track and I'll get their perspective on it. It's amazing what it can do. I mean, they might see something that adds to it, you know? I think that those people are important. And the whole process, as far as like recording in the studio too, it's important to have a vibe going on in the studio sometimes. I remember when I used to be invited to the studio sessions and not necessarily recording in the song in the studio session, and I remember sometimes you would help out with the cadence or the delivery, or you would throw out some words that would fill out a line, complete a line, and you would feel like that gratitude, like, okay, I just helped them because they're going to use that. Do you remember how that was like back in the day when it was like so fresh? Like do you ever like think back how like when things were more simple, but you were like way on the outside of things, like you were at the very beginning of things like that? I think about it a lot because like I've gotten really far with all of this music shit, and the only thing that really makes me kind of that calibrates me and brings me down to earth is when I think about those days when I had no chance whatsoever of being anywhere near where I'm at, and people wouldn't fuck with me, people wouldn't do songs with me, couldn't get onto shows, couldn't pay to get onto shows. Like, there was a whole time period where I think the rappers who came up during a certain like technological era have such an advantage over artists like myself, who I've been rapping since I was 13 years old. There was a huge time period where the technology literally didn't move much. And by the time that things started catching speed, that's when these younger guys were starting to like grow into this shit. And they just, like rocket ships, kind of surpassed everybody. So there's that, but at the same time you get the good with the bad at the same time. You learn things about the world before the internet that will benefit you, because there's no way that these young guys could learn that. There's not enough time in the world for them to learn that. You picked up all this stuff because you lived through it. And there's that benefit too as well. I forgot where I was going with that.
No, like even just going back, I definitely think about those days for sure. And I don't think it's a coincidence that like I'm here right now, or that you even bring this up, because like I said, I would rap every day, hours and hours every day, never missed a day. And then I had these 2 years where I'm almost rapping like maybe once every few months, bro. It was like I've never fell off like on that level of just not doing my artistry, not doing what I love. And honestly now though, like I've never felt so much more like I did back then. And like I kind of needed to kind of rise a bit, start getting some bread, start paying my bills, all this music shit, and be like, shit, okay, I'm starting to make it. And then back to square one with this COVID shit. I needed that, bro, because it just re-sparked the hunger in me like a motherfucker. I freestyle by myself every fucking day for hours like I'm a high schooler again. I don't give a fuck. niggas looking at me, I don't give a fuck, bro. I rap constantly, like, you know what I'm saying?
You're back in that form.
Yeah, I'm hungry as fuck. So now I'm always thinking about back then because I feel like I'm there again, you know what I'm saying? In that sense, but now I'm blessed with like a little bit of a platform now, so I can get that little bit of a head start, you know, at least, you know what I'm saying? It's not completely square one, you know?
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
There's a quote that I love,
mm-hmm.
and it's in every victory, there's a hint of the next W. So, can you relate to that in the sense where you've kind of already been successful on different tiers of this rap shit?
Yeah.
When you got the victory, was the next W kind of like hidden in plain sight?
Yeah. You know, it's I'm telling you, you're just like reading my mind, bro. It's like for me, it shows, bro. Like I didn't realize how I was like trying to make it so much that I'm like, dude, hold up. I can be in the industry, contribute to my career while actually making some good money if I just start a show like Dream Team Production and throw shows. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere, like, and big ones too. Like where now I'm gonna start this show I'm throwing. I'm not headlining that show. I'm opening, and I'm gonna continue to bring bigger artists and open for them and throw the show, benefit as an opener, and make some money too. You know what I'm saying? And then put that into the city by keep throwing shows, making sure that other people see that too and go, shit, I'm gonna throw shows because there's nobody doing it. Or they are, but there's not many. There's not enough. We need to be throwing shows constantly out here. So
we bringing artists into town from other cities and states, or
yeah. So this next one, I'm bringing Saul and Samuel Chow and McIntosh and then Django. But then those are all homies. I want to start bringing like people that aren't like who I don't know too, that are just big. Like, so one of the people I'm thinking of bringing is like, I really, and look, this may never happen, but I really do want to bring Wiz out because I know he almost came out.
Wow.
And it's like, if we can get Wiz, I can finally get that Toyota Center that I've been wanting to do again, and I can give some niggas that too, and I can make sure the ones that didn't get on it, we can start building lists up, watching people, throwing more of those, so we can start popping more of these people on those.
How much do you think Wiz is going for?
Man, probably too much for us, to be honest.
I was thinking $25,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I think it's more like 100, bro.
You think so for Wiz Khalifa?
Maybe you're right though. Maybe only 30, 40, 50, right?
Yeah, I think so. But I think it's doable. But I think it's a huge investment.
Yeah, that's the biggest part. That's why, really, that's the dub in long sight. You know, I want to build up to that. So one of the things I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this show, and then I might bring a win out, or I might bring like a
have you heard of that
Boss?
Kevin?
You know Boss?
Boss, yeah, Dreamville.
Yeah, I think Boss would do great at an Uptown show. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Things like that to get
any of those TDE guys too.
Absolutely, bro. Absol. If I can get Absol, bro.
Absol. You just did that too. You just spit a bar real quick.
I did. Absolutely. Absol. You okay? Yeah. I see.
You feel me?
Shit, I didn't even mean to. Damn.
No, but for real, if you got Absol, that would be insane.
That'd be nuts, bro.
And he would do it.
Bro,
he would do it.
Man.
We're putting that out there right now.
No, absolutely. All we need is, as long as you got the investment money for it, why not, right?
He would fucking sell.
Yeah.
It would be sold out.
This shit would go off, bro.
See, and I think that you having a little bit more of a gutter show would be really good for the city.
Yeah, I feel it.
You know what I'm saying?
You can't just go straight to Wiz. Yeah, no. We got to build up. We got to give them what they want.
You can do those kind of shows, too. And it could be fun earning the bread for that big show.
Yeah, you can reinvest that and actually have a music video maybe one day, you know what I'm saying?
But I think that once you realize how this works for you, then things work at your speed.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, you could be getting all this bread from doing all these shows, and now you can create the album that you want.
Yeah.
Now you can do the music video visuals that you want.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's what it's all about, creating the ecosystem that'll help power the highest projection of who you can be.
Absolutely.
You know?
Instead of, like, trying to just fight it the wrong way, which I was. You know, I was trying too much of, like, not caring about money, which isn't cool. It's not long lasting. You need to care about money so you can invest it into your shit and into others. You know what I'm saying? Nice. So, like, I can't help other rappers if I'm just always a broke rapper. You know what I'm saying? I can promote them a little bit. That's about it.
Yeah. I mean, what can the world ask from you when you can't even, do so much for yourself? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I've always felt too. Like, I felt like I want to help the world in such a major way, but I need the world to notice me first.
I feel
like if I'm gonna do all these things for all these different groups of people and dedicate my life to it, I need those groups of people in that world to kind of start to notice and pay attention to me. That's how we're gonna get this shit going. Because when you develop your fan base and you mold your audience, then you can really start like a foundation for them and create like things for your fans that maybe they wouldn't have for an artist that's like a lot smaller than a certain level that you need to be. So that's what I want to do. I want to like help cultivate an audience, but then at the same time help build a Northwest music scene, because the music scene is going to go side by side with every other scene.
Yeah,
the future is really growing in that way, where everything's kind of exists at the same time.
Like, artists are gonna start adding us to their tour stops. Like, that's one of my goals too. Like, trying to get artists to add us to their tour stops.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I already got a couple guys from outside of Washington that wanted to stop on their tours in Tri-Cities.
Bro, do that. Make that happen.
And the thing about it is that they might expect a huge, elaborate, like, podcast setup, but I want people to understand what my whole objective is with the podcast. And what it is that I'm going to do things in the same way that Elon Musk did things, where he found a way to do things for the cheapest, easiest way. And that gave him such an advantage in so many different ways. So that's what I'm doing with the podcast world, because this really isn't costing me anything to be in the podcast world. And I'm already making money from the podcast world.
That's great. That's like, why not? You know what I'm saying?
I created a spaceship that's lightweight.
Why invest all the money before it's even there too?
Exactly. Right? I can build from Joe Rogan's very first episode. Yeah. The dude is like trying to figure out how to do a tweet, and like it's just the most like primal thing in the world to watch, right? And I love it because of where he's at now.
Yeah.
We literally watched him eat shit, and now he's in a fucking spaceship of a fucking studio. Like that's my story of inspiration, where I want to look at that and be like, totally, I could totally do that. Like, I could totally do that. I can go from a point that's a little bit further than where he started and end up further than where he is at.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at things, because you know me and you know how long you've known me. I don't quit.
No, facts.
I don't go anywhere. I keep moving in one direction, and that's always up.
That's what I fuck with you heavy, bro.
That's why guys like
I know Novi fuck with you too, like, because of that shit, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Because like I'm sick of it, like, people just quitting. You know what I mean?
Dude,
like,
for real.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I've always gave mad props to you guys, because I felt like you guys were the two. You know how I said you and Capital earlier? Well, the same could be said about you and Marcus. Like, the way that you guys kind of came out at the same time, like, fighting, thriving. Like, like everything is we're dropping was heat. You know what I'm saying? He's someone who I respect a lot. Him and his dad, I got a lot of respect for his dad. Top's another person who I got, his sister. You know, you guys' whole like collective, got a lot of respect for it. So I hope to do like podcasts with like him and Top and Frick, down the road.
Absolutely.
Because I think that this story is big. It's big. Like, our story is big. And really if we start to document it, then we can get some fucking respect around here.
Bro, I'm hella proud of you for doing this shit, man. It's really cool to see you doing this shit, man.
Thank you, man.
And taking what you already do and creating other avenues for yourself, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like you said with the TikTok, like, you paying attention what's going on and you ain't afraid to dive into that new shit, bro. Like,
that's right.
Podcasts be taking over, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's crazy, bro.
See, I'm inspired by you guys, especially you. I hopped on TikTok. And I started trying to create some content. My God, it's fun.
It's
addictive, man.
Yes.
And it gives me some sort of like artistic release.
It does, though. Yes. I'm glad you said that. I felt like, am I really?
It really does, because like I'll create something that I think is so fucking cool, and I know that nobody else can create it.
Yeah.
And that's just good. That's good for me. That's good enough.
That's all you need. You feel good. Go to sleep well.
And that you can't get that anywhere.
Nah.
Well, you might do a song that hits that same sort of vibe, but like for the most part, something like that is fun. It's unique. It's its own thing, and it's funny that we have that now.
And it's so quick too. A song you gotta go make. This is like I can make one right now, real quick. Bop, you know what I'm saying? It's like
and it can resonate with people like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it can have the impact of a song or more so like that.
Absolutely.
It's just amazing to think about how like it's gonna only get more interactive and we're just gonna have so many more opportunities for us to connect with the audience.
Yeah,
that's what this is all about.
I mean, even from NFTs, like even just like people. Fans that fuck with you investing and literally potentially making some money off of you one day, like, and you all make bread together because of it, y'all coming up together. Like, imagine you see someone blow up and instead of being just happy for them, you're fucking also benefiting off of it financially.
Totally.
That would make all of that shit where people like change as a fan, where they're like, oh, he's big now. That would lessen. That shit would lessen because there'd be more people like, oh, we all coming up, baby.
Yeah, totally.
Let's go. So I'm excited to see where that world goes too, man.
Are you thinking about doing an NFT, something along those lines?
I know it's old, but look, to me, this shit like will be like at my grave. So I'm making a sugar coin. You know what I'm saying?
That's hard.
Because I don't care if it's an old album. That album means like it was like kind of my first thing, my first little thing, you know. And it's just. I want to make a sugar coin. You know what
would be dope?
Yeah.
If you created a coin for every project that you did.
Facts.
Almost like some sort of like, you know how Pokemon has their like badges for each gym?
Yes,
you can have a coin for each project and it has its own look, its own theme.
Fuck, don't charge me if I steal that idea.
So you gotta do it. You gotta do it. Hey, my shit's open source.
I'm freezing dog. Honestly, that's genius. Yeah.
I think that would be so much for the fans too if you did memorabilia or merchandise.
Yeah.
Because then they could really geek out with it, and it would be yours.
Or even like all the footage that, like from Justin to Quentin and all my friends that they have of random interactions with artists behind the scenes and me and this and that, like. Even those, you can turn those into NFTs or else no one else will see them, you know?
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? There's so much you can do in that world. It's kind of overwhelming.
There's a lot you can fucking do, right?
Yeah.
But now that I ask you, I remember one time I said to myself, because I think a lot to myself about a lot of shit.
I relate.
And one time I said, what could Karma do right now that would make him hot in the streets?
And
I thought to myself, like, well, the beats. That's a big thing. So if he got like the hottest beats, like a tape of like 10 of the hottest beats, and he just rapped his fucking ass off, like just snapped, just made a hard ass street tape.
Word.
Like that would set the whole fucking city on fire. Like that would probably wake everybody up.
Dude, I agree. You know what? Honestly, too, I'm sitting on shit like that. I'm pretty much sitting on it, you know, because I don't put out enough like crazy amount of music. So I think I might already even have something like that. I just need to figure out how to brand it.
You gotta drop the body of work. Because then they can all absorb all the songs.
Yeah.
All at once. But it has to be some hard shit, some minimalistic shit.
Yeah. No, I feel it.
Feel me?
That's why with albums too, you know how it is. I'm so like, it has to be perfect. Fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, god damn.
And a black and white video for God's sakes. Let's get a fucking grimy ass fucking black and white.
I had one, but I wasn't able to put money behind it, so no one saw it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I need to get back to that. Like,
because your
that's
style.
Just fun. That's one of my shit.
I think that personally, you took a more top 40 approach. Not to say that the music was soft at all in any kind of sense, but it was very appealing to a popper audience, like a more pop audience. And I knew that was going to work. I knew it was smart. I knew that the music was good, but I also knew that was just one side of you.
Exactly, yeah.
But the other side is where I said all the gold was. I thought that Karma is one of the most ferocious MCs on the whole fucking West Coast. Like, I think that guy is probably like the hood legend that everybody will fucking always talk about. It's that guy.
Yeah.
Right? But the guy that's kind of like killing it right now is a more business savvy guy.
It's about that balance, too.
You're both guys.
Yeah.
Do you have the full control of that switch?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, bro. That is... This is the thing. People need to know. I actually love pop music. So, like, I do fuck with Adele. I fuck with...
what about 90s pop?
Lady Gaga. Yo, I don't know names like that, but I fuck with 90s pop all day. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
Like pop, I've always been so in love with music. I think what it was back in the day, I was scared of what people thought if they knew I liked pop too, and I wanted to make pop too. So what I think it is I need to find a way to balance it.
Right.
Like on a public perception, like branding level, if that makes sense. Like, and I'm still kind of struggling with finding that out.
Right.
And I think that's why sometimes, like, I'll have like people that want that other side, and then I'll do that other side, and then these people are like, "Where's that side?" You know?
Right.
And
trying to feed two beasts.
It's like figuring that out, and I've gained a lot of cool ideas even just here with you now. Like, even what if one day I have just a Karma album, but it's like one is car and one's ma or some shit, black, white, and this one is that pop sound, one is that street dark, you know? And I released both EPs. Like, there's some cool fucking shit. I'm thinking we can really find a way to show people that Karma really is two-sided. Like, and not in a negative way, but you know what I mean? Two-sided, like, there's two sides to me, you know what I'm saying?
And it would be interesting to see how they do against each other.
Yeah, exactly. You know I want the rap shit to go bigger than the pop. You know what I'm saying? Right. Don't look at it twisted. Like when I just spaz on a track, I want everybody to see that. Right, but when I like hit a note really high and then hit it well, that's cool too. But it doesn't like that's really cool. But I don't feel like that nigga as much. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but we'll see. We'll compete. We'll put them karmas together and we're gonna see what happens, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I think that you becoming more of an artist that drops more consistently, or at least
Facts.
more prolifically,
I agree.
Is what's going to make people really come back that maybe have been waiting for that return of a form.
No, I agree.
And I think that you're very much still in your prime of your career. Like really, you're not even 30, right?
No.
Yeah. How old are you?
26. Yeah.
Yeah, you have a long way to go before people could even consider you washed up.
Yeah.
Like, so it's almost like a lot of this came fast, but it didn't. It was a journey before, but then you struck gold, in a sense, and things started to work for you.
Yeah.
And then that reached its stopping point. So now we're in the new stage, the new era of what is to come for you. And we can already piece it together a little bit because of what you've kind of told us about like Dream Team Productions. Dream Team comes from, in my mind, a collective of MCs that maybe used to fuck with Heavy back in the day.
Yeah. And it to me, you know what it's always been? Like when I started it was it really is the team that makes the dream possible. So for me, it never was a rap group or anything or a rap collective. It was just a collective, if that makes sense. So I always considered you Dream Team. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, you already know. Like,
I need a jersey.
Like, back in the Graveyard days, too. Like, Graveyard, like, I consider Graveyard, like, Dream Team because y'all fuck with us and, you know what I'm saying? Y'all support and that's really what the Dream Team is to me. To me, Tri-fucking Cities is the Dream Team, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But Dream Team Productions is like, just like an extension of what that mentality is. It's really just like, hey, there's not enough shows out here. What if we use our resources to throw more shows and help contribute to these other people that are throwing shows too? You know what I'm saying? So I think, that's really my vision for Dream Team, bro. Is like to really let people know that it's the supporters, man. Yeah, it's bigger than rappers. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than me.
It's far deeper. It's the culture. It's deeper than that.
Nah, for real.
I think that's real important because we got kids that are listening to this, because it blows my mind how far like our music and our impact goes. Because I've heard on a couple different occasions stories that I just couldn't believe, but it turns out that they were true.
Damn.
Like I have a nephew who's probably like 8 or 9 years old.
Wow.
And he heard about Tory North on his playground.
Damn, that's crazy. Right? That's hella lit. On the playground, that's so lit, bro. That's the best place.
And they had the mask, and because of the Tory North mask, they're able to be like, oh, I know of Tory North.
That's sick.
Even as low as 3rd grade, I've heard of this.
That's hard.
So if I'm starting to infiltrate in a positive way to the youth, in that sort of manner, what it shows me is that that we do have an effect on our community, even to the smallest extent or the largest extent, depending on how you look at it. Do you have any kind of ideas of like what we can do to kind of like help out with like some of the problems that like the cops face? The cops face a lot of issues like homelessness. They got to deal with people who are homeless. They got to deal with the addicts, the drug addicts in the street. You know, not to dehumanize them in any sense, but you know, the people with substance abuse. They have to deal with all these different people. You've done charity shows or you know, shows where they gave back to the community. In the future, I want to do something where I kind of like lend myself to the cause. So like if I have an idea of something we can throw together that would benefit, like let's say homeless people, then let's bring it together. Let's get the volunteers we need. Let's get the resources that we need to do it. And I'm going to curate this. I'm going to help orchestrate this. We're going to get this to a certain level. And then it's going to operate on its own.
Okay, I see.
That's how I want to contribute on that level.
That's hard.
But in order for us to get there, we gotta establish ourselves as artists even further more so. So the reason I ask about the community is because I want to see how deep you think about the community. Like how deep have you thought about maybe helping out in that direction?
Honestly, especially now, more than ever, I realize how little I do with such more resources than I think I have, because I kind of like always be like, no, you ain't shit yet. You gotta blow the fuck up for real. Right. But I'm like, hold up, let's back up. If we're talking Tri-Cities, I got some resources for people. I should probably. So now it's really like, I'm super focused in on it, you know, and one of the things that touches me really closely is like obviously foster homes. So there is a child shelter that we actually did a charity show for one time, and I don't know exactly what it is, but I want to find a way to help them in some way through these shows. And I almost hate saying it on the pod before I make it all official, but at the same time I'm glad I am, you know. But I really want to find a way. I don't know what that is exactly, but one of the big things for me is like letting them really actually know, I don't care how cliche it is, but like legit know that, yo, you really probably shouldn't just like want to go live a normal life if that's not what you want to do. You really should go for it because now is the fucking time. You know, we really are in an amazing time for entrepreneurs and for people with dreams. So
better than ever.
I want to really like put that into the youth in some way through shows, mainly through shows, because that's my strength out here. You know what I'm saying? So
it's your stage.
Yeah, that's really, when it comes to community, I'm thinking kids. You know, I really want to help kids be influenced to do art and to follow dreams. You know what I'm saying?
And so, I've noticed that you've always had like a young audience at your shows. I remember seeing little kids in Karma shirts.
I know, that shit's wild, bro.
So you two are able to create art that is receptive to the youngest of our audiences. And I think there's something interesting about that, because there's a special psychology that goes into understanding how the brain of a young person works. You know, without knowing. Maybe we know about this subconsciously because we have younger brothers or sisters. You know? But whatever it is, it's true. And a lot of corporations, they utilize this to sell TV, you know, records or TV shows or whatever, you know? I think that me personally, I do those kind of studies where I try to like understand what makes a kid want to be like, oh, I'm buying that. or like I need my mom's credit card right now. Like, I try to figure out that, because I think that there's something really interesting about the way that the mind works in an impulsive way at any age group, but specifically for the younger, for the younger audience.
100%. Yeah, it honestly blows my mind. You know, another thing I noticed too now, just being older, is like, bro, nobody supports music harder than kids. I'm sorry.
That's facts.
They just don't. I don't. Like, fuck. I'm like, God damn, how am I gonna get my rent? I need to fucking go work right now. I'm like, I'm not like, oh my God, this song is, I have to fucking look up everything about him right now and study everything. Like, I don't do that as much now because of, pressure of life and whatever. I'm not just living in my mom's basement and shit.
They said that prisoners and kids are
right though. Ooh, you put me on.
Are the highest. Yeah, that's what they said. So isn't that crazy?
It's also sad for the prison, because it's like, damn, man, they really need it though. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Imagine that's a little bit of freedom that they can have.
There's prison, not to go too far from but there's prison TikTok too. It's kind of crazy. There's some people can have fun.
Crazy shit. Yeah.
It's kind of insane.
It makes me wonder what's life?
I know. Trust me.
For real,
I thought that too when I went.
Prison TikTok in general is like, okay, and shout out to my homies in prison, real shit. I'm not talking down on any sense, but I'm like really mind blown by this. We definitely have to talk about this for a little bit. Prison TikTok is interesting.
Yeah,
the whole cooking cuisine in jail thing is interesting.
Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah,
I've never seen so many different things cooked in a toilet. You feel me?
And like how? Like what are how do they even do it, bro?
Dog, like obviously I'm not built for that life, because this just the thought of using toilet water for something other than flushing the fucking shit down the toilet is enough to just make your toes grow. Like, it's just too much.
Nah, I'm blocking that image out. I'm not letting it in, bro. Nope. I'm good.
Hey, this is... You're never going to hear this on a different podcast, so I have to do this now. But, no, man, that shit's insane, man.
They really found a way to come up, though, and another way out there, so... Who knows how it affects politics in prison, too? Like,
true.
Who fucking knows, man?
Well, there was a guy who was fired for taking a selfie of one of the rappers from Florida. I think it was like Jay the Youngin or something.
Jay the Youngin's locked up?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Damn,
and I think
used to follow him.
And somebody took a picture of him, and that guy got fired. So Jay the Youngin came out and said, I'm going to pay for his bills until he gets a job.
Damn, bro, what a real ass nigga. That's just fire.
Did you hear about the guard, the female guard who had a fucking train ran on her in jail?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, seriously.
Damn. Like she was just like, give it. I want all the prisoners.
Yep. That shit was funny as fuck.
You know they the happiest niggas in the world right now.
Yeah, these niggas is nuts. No, but
they're fucking Christmas.
Have you seen those TikToks where like girls will park outside of like prisons or jails and shit, and they'll just twerk out? The motherfuckers will be going like, woo, woo.
Yeah.
Petey Pablo, that motherfucker.
Bro, 2021 is
shout out to Petey Pablo.
Dude, it's a different fucking time, bro. It's crazy.
It really is, man. Honestly, like, I've been watching, I monitor the world, right? Like any human does, right?
Yeah.
But I've been watching the world as we've kind of like, since 2015. Mm-hmm. And I've been like, okay, I can see that we're gradually getting worse on like a mental health level.
Yeah.
And like, gun crimes are just out of control. And like everything, you could just watch the world and you start to notice that we start to go down like a narrow path of just things not like getting better, just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And then 2020 hits, or 2019 goes into 2020. Mm-hmm. It felt like I heard a lot of people say, "Oh, this feels like we're in a computer simulation."
Yeah,
because like the things that we worry about like happen. Like we talk about the aliens, and then boom, suddenly the aliens are coming. Yeah. There's a lot of that kind of thing that happens. But I wonder if people stop to think about this. And you can definitely go with me on this, because I think you might have something to say about this. The internet is like a collective conscious barometer. So what it does is it collects all of the consciousness of every person who inputs into the system. Mm-hmm. So you can get a good determination of how the world feels if you were able to get a barometer on the collective consciousness. Mm-hmm. Because it's going to be a good determiner of how the world is feeling at any given point. Because it's got so many metric points that connect to it. Right?
I can see that, yeah.
So you're thinking about it like this. If the internet is creating the projection screens in which people are living their day-to-day life through, mm-hmm. the algorithm can go off of the brain's information and create a world that the brain is worried about.
Yeah.
Thus, creating a simulation of a world that we're trying to avoid.
That's like...
It's like the collective consciousness is feeding into the artificial intelligence, which is creating a world that we don't want to come.
I see what you're saying now, yeah. Mm.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, if we're looking at it like this, have we come too far and given artificial intelligence too much power to where we probably can't get control of where things go anymore already?
It's hard for me to answer it because I don't want to go on some like weirdo rant or something. But it's like, how can I make this like simplified? I guess so. From my perspective, I'm just insanely what is it called? Let's just say like hopeful, mm-hmm. and I see everything you're talking about, but I also strongly see the other side of things too. I don't know why, because it's harder to see though. It's harder to see,
right?
Because they don't. It's almost like that. The revolution won't be televised. It's almost like the positivity won't be televised, but it's there working, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So like
that's profound in itself.
There's some things are balanced. I think things will always be balanced more than we know it, you know, because we're in our mind. But I do believe in karma and the balance of life, and that we don't control that. Life balances it. And there's going to be always chaos. There's going to be always places of peace. Uh-huh. No matter what. And that's going to look different in infinite ways, right? You know, there's going to be some more chaos here than there is peace here, and there's some more peace over here than there is chaos. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So at the end of the day, it really is all kind of like, you need to control this part, which is the inside. Yeah. You, like, if you can get this inside to where the outside doesn't affect it,
right?
You'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think that's kind of where I look at it, you know, so I don't really dive too deep into the actual, like,
right.
This and that, unless maybe I feel I need to, but that's, so I don't really have an opinion, like, when we're talking specifically about AI, but when we're talking about, like, the kind of higher up, just, like, looking of humanity and where we're going, I really don't think we're ever going to just die and we're fucked and it's just over, and I don't think it's all going to ever be perfectly peaceful either.
Right.
I think it will always be a balance of both.
Yeah.
That's just how, I don't know, that's just kind of where I feel about it, but... Yeah.
Dude, I like that because there's a lot of hope in that. I think that when we get too caught in the detail, that's where the whole devil in the detail kind of comes from, right?
Yes. See, you know how to word the shit I'm trying to say better, bro.
Right? No, it's totally. You're totally right. Yeah. You're totally hitting it on, and I totally agree. I think the reason why I get caught so much in the detail is because when you paint the world with just detail. Then that really saves you time of having to go back and tell certain things because it's kind of like already all out there. You know what I'm saying?
You have almost like a roadmap, you're saying?
Yeah.
I feel it. Yeah.
So like, for example, when we go into like where the world is going with how there's a lot of subconscious things and things behind the scenes that we're not let in on.
Yeah.
And that's operating as we speak in real time, and it's having an effect on us. If the conversation was to become so mainstream that it could be anybody could walk up to it, would the world change dramatically overnight? Would it, like, instantaneously would the world change if they knew the freak show that was going on behind the scenes and who is pulling the strings of the world right now? You know,
I think it'd be a mixture. Like, I think if some people would. Or wait, no, it depends. Do you mean if everybody like knew for 100% fact in their head, there's no one even doubted it, the proof is right there.
It's like the lights are on.
I think that would make the world shift very fucking quick. And I think people would realize a lot more power that we have together than ever, you know? Because we realize, oh wait, how many of them are there? Shit, how many of us are there? Oh, damn, son.
Yeah.
Well, now that we know what's up, like, let's take this bitch over real quick.
If you knew every little secret,
if
you knew every little thing, then instantly things can change. But I think the problem is that it's impossible to get that information out to people that rapidly, but without them having to look for it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's why whenever there's a big, huge news headline that happens, people run to the information right away. Because it has to hit the news first in order for people to know about it, for the most part.
Yeah.
So, I think it's really intriguing to ask somebody like you, because I think the technology is really the combination of spiritual and technology, or science.
Yeah.
So the science and
I agree.
It's really the combination of both, because there's an element of spirituality that happens behind technology that is really it's unusual.
It's magical. It's like without it, I would never learn to rap. I don't think. You know?
Yeah, very much so. But at the same time, it's really interesting when you put it in a different context. Like, think about how simulators that just respond to you when you just write to them. You know, like there's a real like uniqueness, but a strangeness. It's like we're familiar with it, but it's still very weird to us. And I think that it's this whole like combination of like cyborg, like where we are adapting technology and we're becoming one with it in some sort of way, like singularity or whatever. That I've heard like Joe Rogan and Kurzweil, you know, they talk about these kind of things. Does that scare you? A future where we head in that direction?
That it really. Okay, I don't know why, but it doesn't. Because I used to be so paranoid of these things, and then I just, because I don't want to be offensive or anything, but it's like I do truly believe we all have our experiences for a reason, and whatever experiences we have, we're going to have it for a reason. And I guess the reason I'm not afraid of that is because so far, all of the lessons I've learned and the hard lessons I've learned and the things and the good sides and things like that, I've always felt the universe had my back, and it did for the most part. No matter how much it did hurt sometimes, yes. But I'm all right and I'm fine, and I do believe I'll continue that path. But that's just my perspective and me, and I totally understand that other people don't think that way, and I totally respect that, and I don't think my way is the right way or the highway, you know what I'm saying? But that's just kind of how I look at it, you know? Otherwise, I'll probably go crazy, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, I go crazy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I got a lot of faith and hope in humanity, because I see the devil just as much as I see the opposite. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when I'll be looking in the devil's face, but right next I see the other side too. While he's right there, I'm like, yeah, but he don't even realize that. Yeah. That nigga's all with him too. Oh yeah. Oh, never mind. Yeah, I just not get it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, totally. But that's really, I believe in balance. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Good and negative energy coexist, and good versus evil coexist. I think that I've been through a lot of shit in my life where I even went through shit that I didn't even need to. I put myself through shit.
Same. And I feel it.
There was times where I ended up in the hospital for my own shit that I got into. So whenever you get that close to your line of mortality, and you realize that you could die, you could lose your life, and you come back from that kind of world, you realize like there's forces at play. Yeah. You know, there really is a good and evil, and somebody really is looking out for you if you do happen to come back. If you're able to come from your darkest moment,
absolutely,
and transform into a person who's completely different, there's some sort of force that really helped enable that. Whether you like to believe it or not, and I feel like we're losing some of that in some of these younger artists that are coming out, because I think that there's like this misunderstanding that there's a cheat code that's involved with believing in Satanism or putting like dark occult imagery in your stuff, and that you get some sort of power from, you know,
like trying to sell your soul, like to the devil type shit.
Through the music, they want to sell their soul. They want popularity. There's a lot of this going on with these young kids because they think that literally you have to do this, because ever since they can remember, the music videos have been full of imagery that's kind of pumped this darker energy into their little ass brains.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's really interesting that I want to call that out. And I want to kind of like just discuss that in a sense, because music is power, but even more so, music is a vessel or a vehicle for power. You can use music. Yeah, you can use music for a positive or for a negative reason.
Yep.
Writing words puts power into the universe. Magic spelling.
Yeah.
You know, the origins of words. Kids do not understand what they're fucking with when they really fuck with some dark shit. When you were younger, you could get into some low-key dark shit, and then you're like, oh, whatever, that's not my style. I'm gonna do some other stuff, right? But now you got whole genres of music that's literally just like that.
Yeah.
And I think I want to speak to the listener who thinks that they're just playing with some light stuff. But in reality, you could be fucking with some forces that are really dark.
Yeah.
And I believe that this kind of like power is akin to like the Ouija board or like voodoo dolls. You know, any kind of shit like that. What you're doing is you're playing with some sort of like spiritual darkness in order to benefit from someone else's misfortune. And anytime you do that, you're kind of like bringing a curse upon yourself.
Yeah.
Because you open these portals and you can't really close them.
Because you're hurting yourself, not just them. You're hurting yourself too.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just,
You're borrowing from their pain, but you will have to pay in the future.
And you know what too? And there's also obviously the light side to the light magic, right? And I think it's kind of not a coincidence that dark magic is more popular, right?
Yeah.
And I think light magic almost works in a way where it's hard to see it. You know? But at the end of the day, I really do think that all of these things, like, because I try to stay away from anything that has like crazy, or sometimes I like literally I'll look away, like you already know, you know what I'm saying? Or like if they start, I don't watch horror movies anymore, really, like, or with demon stuff in it, I don't, you know what I'm saying? And I think another thing though to remember, at least for me, is that it is another form of a bunch of soil that the seed has to struggle through to get to the light, in the sense of you have to figure out how to maneuver through this. You have to figure out how to learn that this exists. You have to maybe go through some ups and downs to even realize this exists, and to even figure out what are we going to do, and to have these combos, and to bring these up. This is a part of that struggle. You know, we're not in a perfect world. You know what I'm saying? We have to grind through that dirt to get to the light. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm not with that stuff, but also I get that it's there and it's not going away, just like the light shit ain't going away. You know what I'm saying? Sure. So it's like, what can we do to better balance ourselves, I guess, is really how I look at it, opposed to just trying to like really fight it. It's like, how do I understand it and not let it influence me? Right. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have
to take a more extreme approach to it.
Yeah.
You can literally have an organic approach to it, and it'll be more effective that way.
Yeah, and also to remember that us humans, we have both energies in us, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's hard to admit, but we got both of them in us. We all have different balances of them all, and it all is shifting. But you ever caught yourself in the car and you just flip out over the littlest shit? Like, what, you think that's like some little angel in you doing it? Like, nah, nigga, that's that energy, bro. You're channeling that shit. So it's like, we all got it all in us. How can we balance ourselves, though? How can we heal opposed to like harming? You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it, though. You know what I'm saying?
On the flip side of this, I do want to ask you we're getting a pretty good, nice conversation in here, but we're already at 2 hours. I want to ask you. I want to ask you a couple more things real quick.
Okay.
The law of attraction.
Yeah, love it.
I really want to hear your perspective about the law of attraction.
Okay, yeah.
How it works with you, how it's worked in your life, what you can attribute to it. Like, I believe in the law of attraction, and I think that your time is your time. There's enough speeding it. It's gonna happen when it happens. But when it happens, are you prepared? Because if so, that's gonna prolong the opportunities that you have moving forward. Some people are ready right now, and they still have to wait 3 or 4 years, but they still have to work.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that a lot of people don't realize that the law of attraction is more than just wishing something into existence. It's also the working part of it too as well.
Yep. You can't just like attract it and it's there when you exactly want it right away. It doesn't always really work like that. And I think a lot of the convos I didn't have enough with law of attraction early on was that you do it constantly even when you're not conscious of it. You know, so man, I can't wait. See, now we're getting into things that not everybody's going to agree with me, and I totally respect that. But I truly believe, like, we do manifest and attract the energies and things in our life. So, for example, I was gaining a bunch of weight. There's a time I got to, like, 230 when I was going through all that depression and went out making music. And, dog, I was constantly, like, thinking of how fat I'm getting and how much I'm eating and da-da-da, like, constantly, all the time. And then I just kept getting bigger and bigger. Like, you can do the other side, too. Yeah. And I think that's the part people don't. Once you figure that out, though, you really get a little better at it because you know, hey, why is this energy around me right now? What am I doing? What do I need to change in me? Opposed to, like, fuck this nigga, like, get him away. Like, no, what am I doing to even bring this situation to me?
Right.
Maybe I need to go reassess. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I've been at with law of attraction lately. You know, it's like a whole new phase now where I see the other side of it too. Like you can attract the wrong shit that you probably shouldn't be attracting. You know what I'm saying?
So we're talking like short-term attraction and long-term attraction too as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Long-term is like that buildup of all the work you put in, all the energy and thoughts you constantly put in. You know what I'm saying? Like. For us, the majority, I'm sure, is like music. And so obviously, like, we want to get out there and establish as artists, and we want the world to recognize our artistry, you know? So I'm sure you and I, that's like probably the majority of our manifestation, like that's going on, right? Because it's the majority of our thoughts and our work and our energy we put into it. That work. Yeah, but there's definitely that long-term side too, for sure. Yeah. And that's the one you got to be careful with, you know, because all those little moments build up to that. Yeah.
True. I think that's the one in the long term you're always going to be fine with, though, because you've been making those decisions all along to kind of form it into what it ends up being. Like, for example, people who settle down in a relationship. Yeah. They've been kind of setting it up for them to be like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah,
you know, this is my chick, this is my, or you know, this is my husband or whatever the dynamic is, right? They've been setting it up for it to get to that point. So we can say that in that case, that's like that. But there's other things that aren't like that, like at all. So it's just really interesting when you start to think about like all these things in life, like all these relationships where if you were to add the same sort of like filter to it, you kind of get similar or different results.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I like what you said earlier. I think it was before the podcast, but you said something about sometimes it could be a homie or whoever, but if you're not like adjust to the similar room temperature, it can slow both of you down. Yeah. Like, not even just one, it can slow both of you down. Like, that's true. As friends, it doesn't matter who, like, you know, and sometimes that just happens. Like, happened with me and Novi for a while. We like weren't working or doing much for like, I don't know, like 9 months probably.
Someone's hot, someone's cold.
Yeah, we came back and like both obviously way better mentally, you know, physically and just spiritually, everything. You know what I'm saying? And now we're building bigger than we had before on like other things that we never thought we'd be doing, you know?
Yeah. You guys got back to the right room temperature. Because even something like the thought of like hot and cold is really interesting. Because like when you're hot, you obviously want to remove an article of clothing in order for you to like regulate your body heat.
Yeah.
When you're cold, that's the opposite, right?
Yeah.
But it also works in the same way
hard.
where like if you're creative, like you could be hot, like everything you touch is this fucking, you're killing everything you touch. And somebody might be like, okay, I need time. You know, I need to like take this home, listen to this, you know, record this at a different pace. I almost liken it like the dynamic between Kendrick Lamar and like J. Cole at sometimes. You know, where it feels like Kendrick was ready to go in there and tear the head off of everything.
Yeah, and everyone.
And J. Cole wants to take a more like a subtle approach to things and keep it cool, keep it smooth, keep it organic.
He wants to like kick it with the niggas.
Yeah. So I don't know. I break into so many different tangents, but me and you could talk for hours and hours and hours. But I wanna get a couple other things out here. I want to recap about the show because I'm gonna drop this podcast this week.
Hell
so people can listen to it and they can get a good understanding of everything we've talked about and also the event that's coming up.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, no, I'm so excited, man. It's like the comeback show for me, I feel like, you know, and we're doing it at Uptown Theater, Tri-Cities, over there in Richland. It's gonna be called Spooky Island. It's gonna be me, Django, Macintosh, Sam LaChow, Saul, all really great artists. You know, you definitely look them up if you ever get the chance. And more than anything, man, we're just all getting together and we're going to be partying for Halloween. So, you know what I'm saying? Costumes, all that.
Shit.
It's going to be crazy, man. I'm excited to be back outside.
This is a different karma. This is definitely a better karma.
Yeah, I agree, man.
Yeah,
You're like mentally clear, you know, like here, present, you know.
But also like one that can make things happen.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. Like I'm trying, you know. I try at least, you know.
Because I feel like if you say something's gonna happen, it gets done. Now it gets done.
Yeah.
Maybe you were too big or resources weren't around before, and maybe it didn't get done as fast or at all sometimes in the past.
Yeah.
But this time, if you say it now, it's gonna get done.
Dude, that's what's crazy. That was one of my biggest flaws is my indecisiveness. You know,
right.
I'm one of the most indecisive fucking people. Like, if that helps out, I'm sure there's some people out there that when I say that, hopefully now they're like, oh shit, that makes more sense. Okay, yeah, I'm just very indecisive. I say it comes from love, trust me. Like, but I'm very indecisive, and that's my flaw, and that's why I'm glad I have a dope team now. You know, that I bounce everything off them now.
Hash things out.
Yeah, I don't just like do shit off a limb. I like bounce it off the people I trust, and if they give me shit that doesn't resonate with how I feel, then I just do it anyways. It's that simple, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You have the overall control or veto of how things go.
Because that's very important, and always to make sure that the people around you like support that. Like, oh, here's my perspective, I disagree, but you know I'm wrong with what you want. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But hey, bro, thanks for like bringing me onto this too, bro. Like I appreciate I'm really glad the fact we gotta catch up on your pod is so sick to me, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Dude, this is how I envisioned it. You know, it's funny because I felt like I have these kind of conversations. I've always had these kind of conversations ever since I could like go out and party when I was in high school, and I would meet people who maybe were different from how I grew up, but they had a story and I could find it. I could find the story. Like, I knew where to shift the conversation to make it more interesting for me.
Yeah.
I think there's an ability in that sense too.
Absolutely.
So now that I have the ability to like monetize a platform where I primarily do the conversation organically, free flow, I think that's the whole aesthetic of what I'm trying to do, because I literally record on my phone and I upload on an app. And there's no money put into it. There's no editing done whatsoever. What you say is kind of what you say in this sense, you know?
Yeah.
I think that overall it's really punk rockish to do something like that.
I like that, yeah.
It's definitely counterculture to do something like that. So that's what I want to do, because in an era where everything's polished and edited, we can bring something really raw and organic, rough around the edges to the forefront.
To give it to those people that need that, man.
That's why I love this conversation, because for the longest time, man, the way that I looked at it is like, you were a hard guy to get a hold of. And you were probably an even harder guy to work with in a sense. And I got lucky and I got a verse from you back when I was catching you on your rise. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew that if I asked you with enough time, I showed you the idea. If you thought the idea was cool enough, you'd probably do the verse. And you did. That was for Holy War.
Yep, I remember.
Which I eventually did upload. It's on streaming platforms. But the whole concept, the whole idea was a super track of MCs that just were delivering their best verses. You, Capital, Jason Anthony, me, and originally Tickles was on it.
Dude, I miss Jason Anthony spitting, bro. Fuck.
Dude. Yeah. Right? Hopefully I can get him on a podcast one day.
Dude, do that.
But it's amazing to hear your vocals on one of my songs playing from back on the Pasco project from 2015. But I always said, man, I need to do a fucking real song with this guy.
Yeah, we need a real one.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't feel like we've done a real one. You know what I'm saying?
You should. That's what I'm saying, too. With these Seattle, we're trying to do way more out, a lot more collaboration at the crib and at the studio. So, like, and then Nobi, he works at a crazy studio now, bro. Like, come down to Seattle. Let's vibe. Because the main thing, I want to say this on record, too, because I never, just like to give context, when you say like I'm hard to work with, I know you mean like hard to get a hold of, hard to like make actually happen. Yeah. It like I'm super loving guy and super nice and shit. But the reason for that, honestly, is just because my indecisiveness and my nervousness and just like, I don't know, just being so like narrow-mindedly focused. But now it's just like not like that. I'm in such collab mode. I want to be influenced, chill, like build. And the main thing I want to do with collabs is not just hop on a track. Like I want you to come stay at my house, like meet my girl, like I'll cook some food, we'll kick it, all my homies come over, we gonna freestyle all night, we gonna fucking rap, we gonna chill, you know what I'm saying, go make music the next day or something. That'd be dope. Like I wanna connect, bro, like, cause you're, oh shit, why do I keep doing that? Cause you're a dope ass person, and like, I think we would both be surprised how much we vibe with our homies too, and our cliques meshing, bro. Like, I really want you to come out there more and just beat the homies and kick it, bro. So,
dude, and you could bring Illis too, you know?
I would love that. I would absolutely love that. I'm trying to see him before I'm out of town, so maybe I can mention that to him as well, because it would just be dope, bro. We got plenty space for y'all. I'll come through, stay a few nights or whatever, and we'll go fuck around in the city. We'll go make music.
Dope.
All that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? So
definitely.
I'm ready, bro. Let's get it.
Definitely up for that.
Yeah.
Okay. So where can people find your stuff at?
I'm on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, like Tidal, anywhere you find music, just type Karma Knows. It's just Karma in the space Knows, Knows. And then on all my socials, it's Karma Knows with a Z. So, yeah. Pretty easy to find me. I'm on TikTok if you want goofy shit too. Yeah, there we go. Nothing to do with music though, but if you want to laugh occasionally and see some weird goofy shit.
There you go.
You know, okay. I'm on there too.
I love that. Okay, so let me ask you this. Would you be down to do like a round 2 later on?
Hell yeah. A round 2 of the podcast?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, bro. Like, here's the thing. I want you to come out and do it in Seattle.
Okay.
I want y'all to come to the crib. I want to kick it. I'm telling you, that's what I feel like I'm missing is the connections. Collabs will come with that. You know, like, we need to connect and kick it and, like, go to these shows together and, like, chat about music more. And
I think I prefer that process better.
Absolutely. Yeah.
As opposed to just like, throw a beat on.
Unless we rap, unless we just freestyle and throw a beat on, motherfucker. Let's get it. Like, but I know what you mean, bro.
Before we sign off today, man. What are you cooking when I do come to the studio?
What am I cooking?
Yeah, because you said you'd be cooking. So what are we cooking that night?
Well, I'm really good at making like birria. You like birria?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, I love birria. With consomme, all that shit, bro. Sheesh. Yeah. I love birria, man.
I never would have thought, man.
Yeah, that's bro. Awesome. Mexican cuisine is my favorite, bro. Make mean carne asada. I can make. Honestly, we can just have like hella tacos and make like some birria, some carne asada. We can make some tacos. Okay. Make some fresh salsa, all that shit, bro.
I gotta ask, cause the homies cook. I gotta ask them what they cook, man. Cause I throw some stuff together myself.
I believe it. Hey, what you cooking?
I'm a scratch. Let's say that the roles are reversed and you're my guest. Mm-hmm. What I'm gonna make? Let's see. What am I gonna make? Let's see, we can keep it Mexican. We can do some enchiladas.
Oh, okay.
We can do some enchiladas because my mom taught me how to make the way she makes them. We can throw those together, or we could do like the little fried tacos.
Okay, yeah, I love those too.
We could do the little fried tacos. We'll keep it Mexican. We can go pasta. We can do some pasta.
I love pasta.
So I can throw some. We barbecue.
Okay.
We can throw some steaks on the fucking grill. We can do it up. You know.
Bruh, I've been wanting to learn brisket, dog. I want to learn how to make brisket, bro.
Okay. I got the homies doing all that shit because I haven't tapped into the brisket yet. But.
It's a whole nother game, huh? Like, it's just wild, man. But I would love that, though. I would love to.
We're going to have to make it happen, man. But yes, signing out here at Tri-Town Tory. You guys already know what it is. We're going to tap in one time with you. One.